देने वाला है, थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, परफेक्ट। दिक्कत देने वाला है, थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, परफेक्ट।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, welcome back to the Mythic Showdown Season 1 to the Swiss rounds. And we're going to jump back straight into the action with more great teams. Today, we're going to be kicking things off with the 1-1 brackets. Basically, teams that have won the first round but didn't get the chance on the second one. So let's see how they perform against each other. And of course, the first match of the tonight best of 3 series is going to be against Anarchy versus Untitled against each other. Of course, let me introduce myself. I am Ray, your host, and joining me is two beautiful ladies, one to the side and one to the other. It's going to be Peachy and Zevo. So, hello, Peachy. Obviously, you're looking mighty fine today.
Thank you. I mean, I've got to put efforts, okay? I am going to anyhow, with a little bit of a new though.
Yes. And what about you, Zevo?
I just threw on anything that I could find. But yeah, Peachy is looking too cute today. I'm just gooning over her. But
What? Huh? What? No,
yeah,
I heard the
you didn't hear
proper
that.
word. Don't worry. Yeah, no, I heard the proper word. It's swooning over. Yeah, it is. It means the Oxford Dictionary explanation, guys. It's that when you're like really impressed by someone. Okay, that's the definition. But I am not gonna save your behind next time, Zero. But overall, looking forward to both of these teams. And of course, Zero, you have more intel on Anarchy after all. So why don't you? What do you have to say about tonight's matchup?
Well, what can I say? They are going up against Untitled. I mean, I would say I've seen Untitled play, and both of the teams they have shown quite the willingness to fight against each other. But then again, Anarchy, this lineup, I would say they have been quite consistent the whole time that I've been with them, and hopefully, I hope everything goes well towards your side as well. And I'd like to go for a game 3 as well because it's a best of 3 still. Rooting for Anarchy more.
Okay, of course you're gonna be biased, but it's okay. We respect you for it. What about you, Peachy? Are you team Untitled tonight? Do you even the odds out?
Yes, sir. Come on. It's just two-man desk, so why not let Zero take Anarchy. I'll go ahead with Untitled today, and I'm gonna support my girl Daki as well. So I'm curious to know though. Once again, just few days ago we had a scrim, right? Untitled was there. They were kind of showing some kind of a new heroes on the line. So this time around, I do want to see them picking up those kind of a heroes, but not in a manner that it comes out as a troll.
Definitely. I mean, that was a friendly match, a
Yeah.
scrim, to be fair. So maybe they were just trying out a few strategies. But tonight, they have already done their practice. Let's put it into execution and looking forward, of course. And obviously, ladies and gentlemen, we have to mention the fact again and again, like a broken record, because this tournament is special for a reason, because the top two finalists will get a chance to represent India on a stage next level. That is the regional tournament. So if you want to stay up to date, make sure you follow Moba 5v5 Esports. And there's also going to be giveaways of 10,000 diamonds every stream. And if you want to participate on there, comment down below hashtag Mythic Showdown, M capital and S capital. So obviously, you might just be one of those lucky few who get a chance. After all, gamble your chance away because you might never know. But of course, let's put our focus tonight's matchup. The first one is Anarchy and Untitled. Both of these teams, I'm going to be honest with you, I was honestly expecting Anarchy to be in the 2-0 brackets. Zero, what do you think?
Well, the first matchup they went against LCF, and to be fair, LCF is quite a strong team with their new and improved lineup, right? So definitely that time it could have been a 50-50 chance, but then again, LCF they had, I would say, more to their side, so it was quite unfortunate for them, but there are still more chances, and I would say it was for the better because they get to battle out other teams as well. So right off the bat, they just went out off against a pretty huge, what do you call it? A pretty huge obstacle away from their place.
And of course, same question to you, Peachy. Untitled, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like their spot they're in right now, it's very deserved. I honestly thought being an underdog team, they would struggle against the mythical leaderboard. But you guessed it, they're right now standing the same pace as Anarchy.
True. Now again, they do have a very good lineup though. I mean, I'm talking about how they kind of love to take the mid control a lot, which I really like. And on the side of Anarchy as well, they do tend to prioritize the mid. So this matchup is definitely going to be an interesting one because of the mage pull and push. I want to see what kind of a mage is. Maybe Selena onto the game number two. That's what I'm guessing.
Okay, we would love to see it, but right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna kick things off with the draft, and there we go. Anarchy gets the first pick, and Untitled the second. So, Zero, what are you make a few predictions? Of course, I'm gonna come to you for Anarchy again and again.
Hmm. Well, there are quite the new heroes that we do see coming up in the meta. I would say I would be curious to see a Lapu Lapu on the EXP because he's been doing quite great after the new patch update. As for Rome Rafaela, definitely because of her new passive, but other than that, I think most of them are pretty much gonna be the same.
Hmm. Okay, fair enough. I honestly love the fact that the Rafaela is bent out. Pichi, what do you think Untitled should be prioritizing tonight after the recent patches?
Untitled. I'm kind of getting a feeling that onto the marksman we might be looking at a Bruno or maybe a Leslie. So somewhere around the lines they could go in for that. Since you're talking about how those new marksmen got buffed up, and on top of that, let's not forget Shane. Shane is there. His most comfortable hero being the Harriet. I think it should be prioritized.
Absolutely. And I'm a kind of a Leslie main. I mean, I used to be. So we'd love to see, but her execution is definitely on the harder side. She's basically more vulnerable than a Mia even. But so we'll see how that works around. But Bruno is definitely a contender there. So Zero, what do you think? Like, are they gonna prioritize something along those lines, or they're just gonna go for a flex pick?
I would rather, I would say they would be going for flex pick because I don't think picking up something, unless you really are comfortable in going, I don't think they don't have much priority as of now. I would say they would be looking at what the picks would be and possibly going for more counters.
Yeah, I definitely that's gonna be the case. I'm loving the inclusion of Ruby. Definitely, like
Mhm.
the I think 3 seasons ago or so, Ruby was basically the all thing. First pick or ban, first pick or ban. Ruby, EXP, mid lane, goal lane. She was everywhere, but she disappeared, and right now this little Red Riding Hood is back again into the meta, and it's nice to see. But banned out, not that nice. But overall, Peachy, we're of course gonna get your favorite hero getting banned out, of course, and
Oh.
I am very. It is pretty funny to see, but Zushin has kind of faced the downfall. Not a bad thing for me. She's not gonna be appearing in matches. She's gonna be appearing somewhere else. But jokes aside, first pick, and then the priorities. Bakshia still a good pick according to you.
Definitely. I mean, come on. If this is again a support meta you're talking about, and Bakshia does serves as a direct counter for those heals. You don't have to pick up a Dom Ice. And if you're on a Bakshia and you pick up a Dom Ice, you should just close the game, get a nap, and then come back.
That is way too specific. Have you done it before? Maybe you have. Maybe you have because taking a nap and come back, that is a very
Yes.
good power nap overall. But let's see what the bands coming in from Untitled is gonna be. Okay. Looks like they leave out a band. Maybe they missed it, or maybe they decided it's gonna be for some form of strategy. So first pick gonna be coming in from Anarchy. A lot of
You know,
potential picks come open. Yes.
Untitled have done this before. They purposely did not ban. Maybe this time around, I'm not sure what went behind the scenes. If this is actually they done it purposely, or is it just them? But this is actually a strategy to open up few of the heroes.
Okay. What do you think, Zero?
Well, that is one strategy that we can talk about. Keeping one slot open gives you, one more slot in securing the meta heroes that you can get. I think almost at least people do it in some matches of rank. I've encountered it, and I think it is a pretty useful tactic when you're going against strong teams because it kind of guarantees you that you would be getting one or the other meta hero, and maybe supposedly the one that you are aiming for.
And I'm obviously we gotta give shout out to Daki always for a simple reason. She's the only
Yes.
girl in all these boy teams. After all, in a male-dominated field, somehow she's standing strong, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see. I mean, yes, girls are there. There are girls teams in girls tournament, but it's nice to see that she's here all alone by herself, standing strong. But of course, huge shout out to her. Other than that, so far, obviously, the draft has been quite as well predicted, but I feel like since there's a Harith, this is gonna be, I think, the first appearance of a Roger Jungle in this Mythic Showdown Season 1, as well as after a long while, because Roger Jungler is something that was gone for a long time, like after that previous season, but it's kind of nice to see it back, right, Peachy?
Definitely. I mean, come on. You even yesterday you have seen how the Roger was put onto the marksman lane as well. So he is definitely a flex pick that we are talking about. Now, moreover, here in this game as well, the marksman's already up for Shane. The Harrods are already there to get a good counter. I was hoping maybe something like an Irithel to be there, but crisis though. This game is gonna get more interesting. Both of the marksmen being on the same plane. I am interested to know who comes up as the first one.
And the Yuzhong for the Farsa. Zero, so far, three priority picks. What do you think of the draft?
Mm, it's really nice to see the meta changing, and I was hoping that they would pick up a Yuzhong because currently the Yuzhong is quite great in the AXP lane and definitely a good counter for Farsa because you can definitely go in and dive with his Black Dragon form, have her knocked up and everything. But then again, Crisis with that Granger, I feel like that's one of his most prioritized hero going against a Harriet. Supposedly, I don't know if it's gonna be in the mid or in the gold because I've seen some players use the Harriet in the mid lane as well. But I would say it is still quite a a respect that Granger is still getting picked out.
Absolutely. And I'm actually surprised that Uranus was left out open and hasn't been picked up by the either of these teams, because right now he has risen up to the ranks of being a very strong contender. So a surprise. Other than that, sorry, Peachy, you're not going to be seeing a Selena
Oh,
because it's going to
sad.
get banned out. Ducky is not going to get her hands because Anarchy has done their studies.
Definitely. And Ray, just on a joke, okay, there are too many animals in the land of Dawn today.
Too many animals. Yeah, yeah, makes sense. There's a cat boy, there's a wolf man, there's a dragon man, there's a bird, there's a tortoise. If the if the marksman from the hands of Anarchy was also another animal like Irithel, yeah, that would have been fire. But so far, uh, Crisis will break the trends of it. Like, nah, I'm gonna be human boy, and let's see what the next
Yeah.
pick is gonna be. If it's another animal, it's basically Zootopia at this point.
And let's jokes apart, the Untitled do have the damage potential, and just pairing it up, yep, which is what they needed. They need some sort of a CC. A chip would have been such a good pick as well right here, but they went ahead with a Kufra, an underrated pick, but for Untitled it is not. They are known to pick up those kind of a heroes. Now there are two heroes that can jump up to the back line for the side of Anarchy. Now Bid as well as Crisis have to position themselves.
Absolutely. What do you think the next pick's gonna be, Zero?
The next picks, I'm actually thinking because the Lapu Lapu has been banned out, might be a Phobias because there is a Harriet up. So could be, but
Oh my
oh
god!
my goodness, Alucard makes his appearance in the hands of Johan. Okay, this is gonna be a very interesting match.
Absolutely. And Alucard and Granger actually have a history. So they're actually like two good pairs. I mean, that's why they have the Lightborn skin as well, of
Mm,
course. So
yep.
this is a good pairing. But Alucard did recently get buffed. I feel like few adjustments to his cooldowns and few damage adjustment. But how good is it gonna be? We'll probably see. Last pick coming in for the hands of Daki. It will probably be a mid laner. Let's see.
Middle laner, I am guessing such something like a Sicilian maybe for Daki was a kind of a what do you call that? A signature pick for her, like just few seasons ago. But since the patches have been reformed and it is just like new heroes coming along, maybe I want to see something of a surprise, or maybe an Aurora could work very well as well.
Aurora, okay,
Oh,
okay. Finally, actually, it's been a while. It is been a while, and someone has been waiting for this match. Our
yes.
Mikey Kun, shout out to him, our dear caster. He has been waiting to see the Karita. Even I have been. I love fish. Not I don't like eating fish, but I like fish in this different way. But the thing is, Kadita's weaknesses have been kind of removed because her force swing and the interruption was the main thing. But right now, since it has been improved, I feel like Kadita's effectiveness will be good, especially considering there's a Badang as well, so she can bypass that crowd control and take down, of course, Bid, which is going to be the main scenario. But the draft is done overall, and I feel like both of the hands have good synergies and everything. Few surprise picks and few anticipated ones like the Kadita and Alucard make the appearance on the Mythic Showdown Season 1 Swiss stages. So right now, we'll probably head to the Land of Dawn. And Peachy, you can take it over from here with Zero, as you both will obviously be the voice of the arena in the Land of Dawn.
Let's go, let's go. I am curious to know what kind of a gameplay both of the teams will be bringing out, putting a Bakshia onto the road. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to the Land of Dawn. This is the first match of the day between Team Anarchy versus Team Untitled. They are here to take away those games. Make your prediction, guys. Is it going to be a clean sweep? Is it going to be a 2-1 in favor of Anarchy or Untitled? And hello, Zero. Welcome back.
Yes, PG. Hi. I was actually wondering the Bakshia pick, right? I think it's a really genius pick, I would say, because for the side of Team Untitled, they have a lot of heroes who have shield and heals all together. The Kadita, the Harriet is there. We can't even forget Yuzhong as well. So his anti-heal properties would be working out quite well. Despite him getting the first pick, I really like the confidence of Untitled still going for the heroes, who are quite countered even a bit from our Bashir right here. But then again, his rotation speed, right? Because of his spinning wheel, his rotation speed is gonna be very fast as well as Farsa. So both of them have quite the mobility around the whole map, and I think Untitled they might just be out rotated.
That is true. I mean, talking about Anarchy, they have the means to move out, okay, into the mid lane. Naki has to move out of the situation. The passive really helping her, but picked off. Looking also 50% of his HP off. He already popped his revitalize trying to save himself, which is a good thing given the fact that he cannot make a trip back to the base and come back. The turtle is up. You're talking about how there is going to be a push and flow, but deadly into the mid lane though. Parsa chunks so much HP chunked away. Farsa has to go back.
Definitely Farsa. She's forced to go back, but then again, Bit is refusing because it is the time of the turtle, and they need all the four members as of now. They need the Farsa and her zoning out with the feathered airstrike. But there we go. Yuzhong going with his Black Dragon form gets the first blood and has a bid with the feathered airstrike. That is one down the EXP laner, but then Karita is still going for more. She does go with her rough way, but turtle taken up by Alucard right there. Beelzebub has to go down to save his teammates, followed up by picked off. I would say that was quite the equal traits coming in.
Damn. That's definitely a lot of trade going down into the hands of Team Untitled, and especially going down into the hands of Kaimiku is probably a good thing. But onto the other hand, Anarchy with the neutral objectives, they made sure to get it onto their hands, which is a good thing. Now look at them; they are moving in quite fast, and Untitled also trying to match up the speed as well. Crisis though, he has to make sure. I mean, he's aware. Come on, you play goal laner for so long, you are aware how and when could the
You could be ambushed. Yeah.
opponent, the opponent would be coming in. And Kaimiku though, he needs some items. Look at him, first item already done. You're talking about 3 minutes in with the wind talker. He's probably going to need some more to actually get a power spike going ahead. Crazy though, he did not complete his shoe, but okay, I do see something into the river area. Not much of an engage.
Yeah, both the teams they are playing it out safe because they do not want to give unnecessary kills to each other because it would just rack up their power spike because all of them mostly are burst heroes and we all know how burst heroes work. If they get the power spike, then they're just gonna go around having everyone taken down. But then again, Shane is getting interrupted by picked off, gets inside his turret to get away. So he's getting the backup though, and I feel like both the teams they might be ready for a team fight, but then again, the turtle is about to spawn in 10 seconds. Oh, look at that PT.
Well, interestingly enough, Johan was the first one to fall down. Untitled are playing under the turret, trying to get as much as HP off of them. Kaimiku jumps in, but picked off already defending his members. They are here, but this time around, Anarchy have to get in because Johan is dead. He's gonna take some time. Kaimiku, on the other hand, very focused onto the turtle, into the front lane. So talking about Deadly, who is coming in, committing towards the marksman, but he needs a little bit of backup. Petrify gone. And there comes the feather airstrike at the very right moment. But Roger, though, getting picked off. The second member to go down would be bid as well. There's a chase for Crisis as well. But into the turret, you're talking about, he cannot go in. Johan, though, he does have something. Look at him getting, interrupted by that bouncing ball. You're talking about Joker going down, but Beelzebub will be able to go in or not.
It would have really fit Joker if he went for the circus clown skin that the Kufra Starlight. It would have been really suitable with his name. But then again, that fight around the turtle, I feel like Johan, he was quite impatient by going in first, that too near the enemy turret. That's why they kind of missed out on that turtle. Although they did get up a bit of their economy up, it's still quite a lead for the side of Untitled, but then again, it is quite a balance because they got both the teams, they each got what they wanted. But right now, I feel like Focus is kind of into the goal lane because Crisis is almost close to losing his first top tier turret.
Three for six as of now. 6 minutes into the game, you're talking about how the goal lead is going down into the hands of Team Untitled. This is you're talking about how after the 4th minute of the game, they did get quite a few. Kills, especially onto the Johan, but mid lane, the rough face committed. You're talking about Bill, they were looking quite low. Kaimiku jumps in and a perfect jump from Joker. Wait a minute, Johan, will he be able to get a kill? Joker, Kaimiku will be the first one to fall down. You're talking about how Joker is very low. Crisis jumps in, but Zamanfu is also committed onto the top lane, while Shane also trying to survive it all. They don't have the tank, they do have the damage, but no frontliner without the damage won't be such a good thing, but okay. Picked off looking quite low. Deadly jumps in. Wait a minute. Zohunt still surviving. Look at the fissure. That is so much, life steal. This is definitely crazy.
Yeah, a lot was happening right now in that mid lane. It was too much for us to process. But yes, the follow up after follow up from both the teams, it shows that both the teams, they do trust each other a lot. But as we see, Shane is going with his man force and his chrono dash against two people. Johan, he is caught quite low. He has to get back. Oh my goodness, Shane. I thought he would be taken on by two people, but he proved me wrong. He was just there dashing around, no one to catch him at all. Alucard was trying his best, but he was just too uncatchable.
Crazy enough, Alucard doesn't do well with one member. He needs a 5v5 situation, a 4v4 situation. And a 1v4 situation works very well for him, talking about if he's all alone. I like how Alucard has been introduced in this match coming in from the side of Team Anarchy. And Untitled are actually struggling a bit. Being the only, hard CC coming in from Daki and Joker, they don't have anything other than that, okay? They have to rely entirely on damage, but Anarchy are on top with the damage. Look at them. Kaimiko onto the top lane. And on top of and let's not forget that Untitled, they're letting Kaimiku go into the team fights possibly without any window of opportunity, and it's just costing them a lot.
Well, certainly we do see he picked up the conceal instead of encourage. Do you think that kind of affects the whole team gameplay? Because as far as conceal goes, you can go for a surprise attack, but isn't encourage a bit better in this scenario?
Encourage. Maybe not, but they do have enough damage onto their hands, so it is not that kind of a necessary you're talking about. But they need Joker onto something of a flank though. Look at him positioning. He is there for the marksman as of now, but the Lord. It is up. A lot into the land of John. First Lord, you're talking about Joker while picked off 5 members onto him. Deadly with the dragon form. Goes in. Crisis will be the first one to fall down. Deadly onto the back lanes, doing a godly work. Onto the other hand, Shane getting very zoned out. Kaimiku with that attack speed. The EXP laner would be the second. This is what I was talking about. It did buy out some time, but Kaimiku double kill, looking for the triple. Yup, that is going to be a triple and a turret, and then the Lord.
That was a very deadly dive coming in from Yu Zhong because he completely targeted the marksman and the mage all together, and I think he completed his purpose right there. Right, with the marksman and the mage gone, they do not have the damage dealers. They do not have someone to get their the feathered airstrike to zone them out. So definitely they should have been more careful with their positioning, as we talked about in the starting of the game. And actually a really beautiful engage coming in from Team Untitled, because they just went for the objectives, went for the kill before they could get that Lord, getting a full team wipeout, and because of that they just got an upper hand once again. So definitely Anarchy is facing a lot of pressure now. In this case, what they can do is just wait for that Lord and wait for a perfect moment so that their the whole team could get a good setup from Badang right here. They have to wait for it. Otherwise, I don't think it would be possible, given that there is a Kadita and a Yuzhong all together.
Yep, deadly once again with the dragon form. The conceal will be popped, making sure the members will be getting an extra movement speed. But the Lord has been committed to with a push. The passive has been blown off. Bottom lane passive still standing strong. There's still just 30 seconds remaining, but mid lane though it is gone. Hey, Joker!
Oh
Joker with
my
the
goodness.
perfect revenge coming in, but no, he just spent his resources. The Untitled cannot lane for a re-engage chain with the first one. Kaimiku though is basic attack going in so strong. Wait a minute, Kaimiku, he has to dodge.
Oh,
And both of the bullets though turning each other onto their hands. This is a 4v3 trade.
you can't escape the bullets from each other. You just went for it. It was all or nothing for Crisis and Kaimku all together. Definitely, and they were quite they succeeded in defending their base as of now. While the side of Team Untitled, they have their whole map in their hands. But then again, Anarchy, they are quite falling around the third objectives at least. Even though they did go for the neutral objectives, did win it out. But I feel like Joker is the biggest hindrance for Anarchy right now because he's just going with his bouncing ball, interrupting every one of them. So definitely,
No.
they can't even mark out Joker because he's a tank. He has to be the last one to get bursted down.
True, Zero, but I beg to differ, yeah. For Anarchy, the problem is Yuzhong. Deadly. Deadly being very deadly as of now. He's there at the back lines. He's interrupting Crisis. He's interrupting a bit as well. They are not able to deal damage while being in a comfortable spot. They have to constantly shift, and there comes Kaibiko with his skills. So you need to avoid two people there. So Joker, on to the other hand, is spending his resources very early on, which is kind of a problem. I mean, he is using on the frontliners rather than the backliners. So they are covering a spot. The frontliners are getting covered, backliners are getting covered. But for the side of Chimanaki, it is only Johan. Johan is definitely a problem for Entitled. You're talking about Lightsteel though. He's able to stay in the team fight more than 30 seconds, which is crazy enough. Look at them, Conceal going in.
Yep, they are definitely going in for the Lord. Kainku has to take the Lord before they go for an engage. Alucard is there onto the backline. Picked up, gets taken down. Followed up by Daki. Beelzebub has to fall down as well. Joker gets taken down. That is a triple kill in the hands of Kainku. Might be going for a Maniac, but where is he? Shane is the one to take Crisis out, and Bit is left alone once again to defend his base. Will the timer be enough? Will he be able to defend before the Lord comes to their base? Or will Entitled just take the whole... Oh my goodness! Bit is not spared. He just got bursted out. It is GG's for the side of Team Untitled. They take the first match of this best of 3 series.
Holy shit. What a game coming in. And our host Ray, welcome back.
Hello there. I'm glad to be back, but what a match it was. And honestly, I think a lot of people were putting their bets on the hands of course, Anarchy because their lineup is stacked and much stronger. But I'm really loving to see that Untitled being a team that came in from the wild card. As a team that actually lost their first wildcard matches actually was able to perform so well. And I feel like a few misjudgments came in from the hands of Anarchy, like underestimating the Harith pick, right? I feel like they could have engaged him a little bit better. Yes, they went in with two people, but I don't think it was enough because Harith just absolutely easily escaped. And of course, the Alucard pick came out of a left field. Yes, the Alucard has been buffed recently, but it's only the jungling speed. And I don't think jungling speed really qualifies as the best quality to be. Yes, for tank jungler it matters because they farm slow, but for a DPS like Alucard, I feel like they needed something of a better choice. Overall, the Roger performed really well. Kadita, of course, was also a good pick because she was escaping much better situations, and of course the Harith as well as the Kufra were massive threats, of course, because Alucard has mostly dashes. So I think all those things combined, there was a little bit of draft, but also execution-wise, Untitled was also doing much better. But of course, this is only game number 1. It's still a best of 3 series, and just like Zero said, it could go game number 3.
And one thing about Team Anarchy, they should have swapped the Bakshia and the Badang. I wanted to see
Mhm.
a Badang onto the tank, given the fact that it could be, immobilizing them with the walls a little bit, trying to limit the mobility right there, especially for Shane as well as Daki as well. But they needed something to protect the backliners as well.
Yes, absolutely. I think the Badang is still decent, but not the best choice. And I feel like
Yes.
this match kind of cements the fact that yeah, the nerfs are kind of affecting him. But definitely, I feel like execution wise this time around, Untitled just came out on top. Sometimes it's just the execution that's a little bit better overall. And loving the performance from Kaimiku and the resurrection of this wolf jungle back into the land of dawn. Please, I need the rerun of the Transformer series. I want the Granger to Megatron. Please, developers, send
Yeah.
it back. It's been like 2 or 3 years. Like, come on,
Yes.
send it.
Yes.
But yeah,
Even the Kung Fu Panda. I mean, I want that series as well.
which one do you want? Which one do you want out of it? Like, which skin? Which skin?
The Shen.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
The
Makes
yeah,
lady.
sense.
yeah. It has to
Makes
be
sense.
the
It makes
yeah, like
sense.
I said. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense.
It's majestic. Come on, the red and white really suits the Ling as
Yeah.
well. But topics aside of bringing back the skins, I really hope the developers are listening. Anyways, what a match! I was really surprised how Untitled fought back. They had covered all the aspects and deadly with that EXP laner. Now Team Anarchy have to make guesses what is it going to be. There's a possibility that Yuzhong will be banned, but if the Yuzhong is banned, what will Deadly bring out? I kind of known him for like a month or so. I have been seeing him play with these people a lot, even in the ranks as well, and he is actually known to have plethora of heroes open, and especially the damage dealing exp laner. So I am actually curious what will be the next exp laner Deadly would bring out.
I'm expecting an Uranus because why was he left out
Next
open?
monster.
Yeah,
Very
because
less transformers.
lately I've been seeing the Uranus has been performing really great, so why not a Uranus, right? So let's see if they're gonna pop up for Uranus or just gonna go with the good old Yuzhong again. Definitely the fact that Roger is gonna be something that they need to consider because it's on the table right now, because
Yes.
his performance was great, and of course you can bring all the old counters as well. So let's see what decision they can really go for. Zio, though, I feel like of course, what do you think Anarchy should do at this point? Do you think there were some issues with the draft?
I would say it was not the draft, it was just the execution. We have been seeing Beelzebub, he has been getting caught up quite mostly. As an XP laner, yes, you have to go to the front lines, but then again, if you just go to the front lines without doing anything, I think that's just waste of resources. I kind of feel like you have to stay in the front line and still see for a way for you to survive the whole massacre while setting up
Correct.
for your team. So I kind of feel like Beelzebub, he was falling behind a bit. Aside from that, I feel like all of them did quite great. Even picked off as well. He could have been there, but then he's a boxer. He doesn't have the solid CC, so he can't really go for a set. The only setter there was a Badang. So the rest, what the rest could have done was follow up. But the damage and the Yuzhong was just too much for them. The backlines were in danger. They were just getting taken out despite having the Purify. Purify can't really save you much. Even though Granger, he had his dashes, he could not really escape the onslaught of the Yuzhong, even Farsa as well. Because let's face it, with the combination of the skills that Yuzhong does, it's quite hard to get away with him paired with the Petrify altogether.
Yeah, and it's impressive the fact that we were just talking about the Bakshia having the anti-heal, and Yuzhong, yes, he was affected slightly, but I don't think the most. So that is a great play coming in from Deadly, and I'm looking forward to what he can bring to the next match as well. But one thing is for sure that Anarchy needs to watch out for a few picks, especially I feel like the Roger as well as the Harith, because if they don't, I feel like they're gonna be in a massive trouble overall. But hey, it's still on assumptions, and we'll find out soon enough into game number, of course, 2. And I feel like we have now. What do you say? Sorry, I've basically few heroes have been fallen off. We are no longer seeing the Hylos and Gotot. If you've noticing,
I
these two tyrants, they had their fun, and it's sad to see, but they are no longer being prioritized. The Kufra is making a little bit of a comeback into the scene, so expect the MPL plays, the keyboy moments to be popping off soon. But anyways, we're gonna move in with the draft between Untitled and Anarchy. Untitled leading with 1 pointer, and Anarchy has to bounce back, force a game number 3, or they will be losing this game out, going into the 1-2 brackets, of course. So Peachy, first pick for Untitled. Do you think they're gonna go in with who?
Untitled once again. Come on, the draft was really good this time around, and they played it right on the bat. I felt like they kind of lagged a little bit of a CC with the. They did not have something like of a hard CC which could have stopped, but they made sure that they played it very very safely. Really liked how Daki engaged in every single team fight so far. So with that, same bans are already up. The bans are going in quite fast enough this time around.
They like fast pace, but overall, I feel like this is basically the same, except they don't want to give out the Harith. Untitled knows their strength, and of course, they want Shane to be in the comfortable spot. I'm honestly looking forward to a Bruno pick. I feel like it is warranted this game around. What do you think, Zivo? Who's gonna pick it up, Shane or Crisis?
Oh, Bruno, right? Actually, marksman is not quite prioritized by either of the teams like a first pick, because if you go for first pick marksman, unless it is very, very necessary and very like overpowered, they just go for marksman in the later phases, because the possibility of getting countered is just too high. But that also puts both the teams in a position where they have to see where they could possibly fit in the marksmen and close enough to not give them uncomfortable spot. So can't really say about it, but the Baxia band though, it does get quite it's quite, I would say, quite what do you call it? I actually forgot the word. Justified. Yes, justified. I am so sorry. My brain is not braining right now. But yes. First pick once again though, Kaiku on Roger. So it's quite a win-win for the side of Untitled.
Yeah, and
Crazy.
I was just mentioning this, Roger's gonna be open on the table, and Anarchy did not do anything about it, so that means it's gonna go into the hands of Untitled again. So let's see what's the response back. Peachy, what do you counter a Roger with?
Oh, Roger. This is like a very far thought. On theory, I feel like the Mincetar would be a very good pick.
You counter a Roger with a house made out of bricks, if you get the reference.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how you do. But overall, I was just thinking about the Kimi. I forgot to mention it on the previous one actually. The Kimi, yes, kind of got hit slightly bit, but wow, slightly
Mid
bid.
lane,
Yeah.
mid.
Wow, they're going for the fairy tale, Little Red Riding Hood and the
Yeah,
big bad wolf.
exactly.
Why don't we have a pig hero? We could have had the combination, but overall, yeah, nice to see that they're going for lower accuracy, going for a
yeah.
nice pairing. But Shane doesn't commit to the Bruno either, goes in with the mobility marksman. So, what do you
Bruno
think
would
are
have
going to be the next one? Yeah, Bruno would have been really good. If this is a mid lane
literally.
Kimi, mid lane Kimi, I feel like yeah, there's still an option. Oh my god!
Oh,
Minotaur. Okay.
I mean, picked off was like first game. I mean, I was an animal, so let me just handle that same mentality in second game as well.
Let's just continue the trend, right? Let's just get
Yeah,
into either animal theme or let's get into fairy tale theme. That's what both the teams are going. But a Minotaur, his heals are gonna be quite annoying for the side of Team Untitled. But then again, they have a Ruby. So I kind of feel like one is whole team oriented, one is a single. But Ruby is gonna be quite annoying to deal with as well.
Absolutely. Overall, this is such a cow pick, literally in the sense because it's a cow. Yeah, I know it's a bull. Minotaur is a bull, I know, but you can still call it a cow. Just like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
wolf. Yeah, it's a wolf, but you can still call it a dog, right? I want to pet that dog, but bans are coming in. We're seeing the Faramis also coming into inclusion. I feel like we're back into the chaotic meta. I feel like last season was very peaceful because either it's the alpha jungle or you're gonna get the Hayabusa jungle, okay? Either an fighter or an assassin, or at most Lucas, right? But right now we're back again into the chaotic meta where people can
Oh,
pick anything. And I
where's
love I love
Lucas?
and hate this kind of meta.
I mean, I want to see the Lucas though. Where is the Lucas?
It got nerfed to oblivion. The Naruto season is over, so he's not gonna be appearing anymore. Wait for 1,000 more episodes for. But yeah, sorry, I just coughed. But the last band comes in soon, and we'll probably see next few picks. I'm really curious to see what Daki is gonna go for. Is she gonna commit to the Kadita again?
Karila wouldn't be a good thing right here, given the fact that it's mostly going to be Akemi onto the mid. I am, putting my bets on that, and the immobilization effect could be a threat for her, even though there is the changes onto her, but just sudden when you're trying to, and just before you cast your skill, if you are hit by that, it's going to be a chain CC onto you.
Absolutely. And okay, Fredrin ban, that is actually very justifiable. I think it's just that I'm way too used to the previous season casting over it. It's gonna take me a few time, like few matches and stuff to get used to it as well.
Yeah.
And Johan pulls up with the Suyo. Albeit
Okay.
nerfed, but he does have the kid. Zio, what do you think? Don't say that he's handsome. We know. Talk about his kid.
No, I was gonna say we were talking about the Naruto who got reincarnated into oblivion. Now we see a Sasuke. We were talking about it, but I Suyu in this case. I mean, he does have a lot of mobility and quite the damage, and he's quite a front liner guy. Can dive into the back line as well, but can he really out damage the heals of Ruby? Because I feel like she could be interrupting Suyu quite a lot, but oh my goodness, PG, they just defied us. Daki still goes for the Kadita pick and Joker going for the Tyrant, same again. It will be a hindrance for Suyo though, because technically he's still an assassin, and it kind of he kind of plays around his kid about moving around, and the bouncing ball is gonna be
Yes.
quite annoying for him to deal with.
It is. It is, but one thing is that this time around they picked up, talking about Team Anarchy, they picked up a Minotaur. They have that hard CC. But problem is, like, I want to see the cooldown though. How fast, how far along that he can actually make it. But okay, I'm loving it. I'm loving that pick. Cute little one coming into the land of dawn.
Cute little 1-1, and unfortunate
Yes.
her damage might also be a little bit too cute because there's a Kufra which disables her mobility tremendously, especially considering her second skill has a massive jeopardizing CD that's gonna affect her playstyle. So as long as Kufra just keeps on prioritizing her, also considering the fact there's a Ruby as well, that's an abundance of crowd control, and Karita can just immune her ultimate as well. So
Yeah.
there's three targets that the 1-1 really needs to watch out for, but hey, it's Crisis, so if anybody might be able to make it work, maybe it's Crisis. He could use the crossbow of Tang on especially the Irithel, which is also hard because she keeps on moving around, so I feel like the best bet will be the Roger, who also out damages her unless they have the upper hand, they have the lead. But overall, this match is still again Untitled looking a little bit better with the draft, but I wouldn't downplay Anarchy either. So Peachy and Zero, of course, Peachy especially, take it over from here because you're gonna be the voices of the arena as we jump into the game number 2.
Let's go into the land of dawn. Game number 2. This is going to be another exciting match while the team Untitled are on a match point. Zero, let's make a quick prediction. Is it going to be 2-0 or 2-1?
2-1. I'm hoping, but
Let's go.
what about you though? 2-0 or 2-1?
2-1. Come on, I want to see a third game. Who doesn't
Yeah,
want the third game?
yeah. Suddenly we want a third game. But as Ray talked about the 1-1, right? It's kind of really confident of Crisis that he's going a 1-1 in this type of draft as the last pick, despite there being a Kufra. I'm not sure how this is gonna work out because he needs a massive goal lead if he wants to start dealing damage. And we are seeing Anarchy, they are quite aggressive, especially with that Kimmy bid on Kimmy. But oh my goodness, there goes Shane already, first blood. So Anarchy, they are focusing on the goal lane, hoping to give Crisis the lead that they possibly need to win this match point for them.
Okay, interestingly enough, it was just like few seconds into the game and first blood already down. Now Shane though, for Shane he needs the snowball, he needs the farm on his hands, then only he can make some out of a play. But this time around, Untitled did not go in for that aggressive kind of a gameplay, contrary to Anarchy, who did make sure to go with aggressiveness. I like that how they put the Kimmy onto the mid, which is a very good choice. I was hoping, like, I did place my bets on that and I just won. I think I should just gamble tonight. On gacha games, okay? On gacha games. Anyways, a total is up. You're talking about first total. Well, both the teams are really looking forward to it. Zohunt, on the other hand, onto the bottom wing, I feel like he won't be there.
Yeah, he was not on time, but oh my goodness, Deadly has to fall down in the hands. But look at that though, that was quite a good trade coming in from the side of Anarchy. They lost the turtle, but then they took the the kill in their hands, and they are invading the jungle right now, so a lot aggressive than we saw compared to the first game. And I feel like if they do continue this, they should be able to take the upper hand. But one wrong move here and the whole team, it might just crumble down.
I do agree with you, Anaki, though, with the early game snowball into their hands. I'm really liking how they are trying to make sure to get as much as there. But Untitled, knowing they have picked up something on a non-aggressive side, they have to wait it on for the mid to the late. Mid to the late is going to be quite hard enough if Zohunt picks up the snowball into the bottom lane. Look at that. Minotaur with a Minotaur Fury. Joker looking quite low. Would be the first one into the team fight to go down. But Pinked off getting picked off. Kaimiku trying to run away, but the immobilization as well as the damage is far enough to take him down. 2-for-1 trade, a very well trade going down into the hands of Team Anarchy.
Yep. 1-1 is not seeing struggling against all these heroes despite being their counters, and it's quite commendable that even Beelzebub is rotating towards the bot lane all the way from his lane right now. They're all moving together, which gives them more upper hand as well. But Ruby is doing the same. Right now, though, aside from the first game, Yuzhong, Joker, he got caught up by 4 people. Poor guy, he's gonna get traumatized because he just was a huge menace in the last match, and this match is a problem for 1-1 as well. So Anarchy, they are giving Crisis the princess treatment right now. But yes, as we speak, the jungle is getting invaded once again. Look at Karita. Her rough waves does not deal enough damage to get them out. Minoan Fury wasted up by picked off as well before the turtle, but it does look like Team Anarchy, they might have the upper hand there while they are all fighting around the turtle, wanting the turtle. They are not committing entirely, but look at that. The I am offended coming in from Ruby was quite good, but the heal was too much from Minotaur. They have to go back and supposedly lose the turtle this time.
Very good, successful, zoning out coming in from the side of Team Anarchy. Look at them. They made sure to Joker to lower him down. They knew what the problem is and they just solved it on their own into the game number 2. I really liked how Joker was targeted by the Lapu Lapu. Now, Beelzebub making sure that, hey, wait a minute, the Minotaur will be the first one. He bombed the flicker though, leaving away in a sliver of HP, but Daki onto the, lanes. There we go. That little heal from Minotaur really help want to survive. Both of them sliver of HP. Crisis also trying to go back, but this time around, a bit is there, making sure he won't be losing any gold. Now Shane is getting cornered out. Shane cannot make a move towards the mid lane as well, or he will be caught out. He knows if he comes towards the turtle, he's going to be get caught out quite easily. Deadly though, even though he's on to the Ruby is not quite as aggressive enough as the Lapu Lapu. Yep, both have the CC, but one has on the higher ground of the HP. So you would prefer the Lapu Lapu more. But wait a minute. Shane though, he does gets caught out, just makes a play though. But wait a minute, Daki looking quite low. Face committed. She's low, out of the position. Kaimiku would be the first one to fall down. Daki makes a re-engage, and that would be a fatal blow on her head. Joker, onto the other hand, no way he's surviving that. Anarchy just made a 3-for-0 trade.
Yep, 3-4-0 trade indeed, but it looks like Crisis might be in danger. Puts out the crossbow, goes for the counter strike. Ruby gets taken down there. That was a 2v1 and a very well played outplay coming in from Crisis right there. And this time, pressure onto the side of Team Untitled right now. Look at the damage coming in from Zohunt. He missed that arrow though, but yeah, he does get to live another day. It is only 7 minutes into the game, and Team Anarchy, they are almost near the inhibitor for the side of Team Untitled. Kind of like deja vu from the last match, but
Yep.
just a side swap.
Yep, that's true. 9-for-1 score. Untitled completely losing their aggression. Even though they did almost 80% of the same kind of a draft from the last game, they are not getting a handover with the Ruby this time. Look at that. Joker makes a play. Look at that. The perfect jump coming. Johan would be targeted by the rough face. Daki gets a kill. Now talking about Beelzebub into the back front lane. Daki would be the first one. It's deadly. The second. Crisis dealing so much damage. Triple kill by the Crisis. What a game coming in. And Kaimiku saves. Just got saved by sliver of HP, or that would have been a maniac.
Crisis proving us wrong, and I'm very dumbfounded why Team Untitled, they have not made one single anti-heal despite having a Minotaur and a Lapu. The heal would be just cool, but oh my goodness, that flicker, I'm offended play, but he got taken out by surprise. He has to sacrifice himself though. That was quite a fatal blow in their hands, but still overall the map control, it might just start to evenly divide from the side of both the teams as of now.
It's not only the map control that Team Anarchy has, it is definitely the dominance. Look at that. Looking at this graph as of now, Team Anarchy, right from the minute number 3, they have that dominance. They did not give out the snowball, which is a very, very good sign. Now, they are riding high up on the gold, which is looking quite good. Look at the gold difference, though. It's almost closing down to 8,000. That gap goes up to 10 or maybe 15. It is going to be a problem. Deadly, though, tries to make a kind of a assassin play, trying to skip it out, but the lifesteal still making sure to buy out some time while Team Untitled trying to make the river area into their hands. I don't think that would be possible though. The Team Anarchy are migrating towards them.
Yep, certainly. Quite a lot of pressure for the side of Team Untitled as they are forced back right inside their own base at the time of Lord. This time Crisis takes out one turret in their hands. Look at that Joker going for the Iron's Revenge Gap as well. Minion Fury popped out with the rough waves coming in from Kadita, but oh my goodness, 2 of them has to be taken down. Deadly triple kill in the hands of Crisis once again. Be going for the Maniac because it's just too far away from his reach, but is Team Anarchy going for engaged rather than going for the Lord? I feel like they're looking to end it very fast. As of now, will they be able to? Because the timer is running out. They can pop out that inhibitor and go for the Lord.
Yep, the Lord is definitely into the cards of Anarchy as of now. Look at them. the inhibitors are getting targeted as of now. They need it. Lord will be marching down from the bottom lane as of now from the side of Team Anarchy. They have the dominance, they have the damage with the Minotaur, just one pick. Last time around, it was the Berkshire who was the problem, in my opinion, and they just corrected the problem. And on top of that, even though Team Untitled came in with same kind of a draft, they still got to know what is the problem. This is definitely the most quickest I have seen coming in from the side of Team Anarchy, which is looking quite good. Game number 3 is highly in the cards as of now.
Yep, certainly. With Anarchy in the base, the only mess up that they can do is one wrong click of that Ruby and his I'm offended hook. Otherwise, I don't think Team Untitled are bound to get a revenge on the side of Team Anarchy right now. With the Lord coming in, they are going for the lane sync, but not quite there yet. Top lane, but look at that. Shane is the first one to fall down in the pursuit of Lapu. Lapu gets the double kill in his hands. Kufra is not being able to do anything at all. Kanku has to fall down. Daki as well. Almost a full team wipeout, but second game in the hands of Team Anarchy.
What
And
a game coming in, and hello Ray, welcome back.
Okay, it's nice to be back, and this time around, definitely Crisis proved me wrong, and of course, proved a lot of people wrong. I was not honestly expecting the 1-1 to be working out so well. Yes, minor adjustments, but to be fair, there was a fair counter. I was expecting it to be working out, but yeah, Anarchy went full serious mode this time around and was able to do much, much better. One thing is for sure, though, I feel like this time around, they have worked around the Roger pick. They were not really that intimidated or affected by Kaimiku that much, as there were few instances where it felt like those shutdowns could make it progress towards a comeback, but of course, it ultimately didn't happen when there's a high amount of goal difference, as well as the fact that the side of team, of course, Anarchy was just going ham into the base, having so many members. And I feel like Kimi is still definitely a strong pick. She played a massive part in poking targets out, reducing them to low HP, where most of the time Suyu was able to dive in, and also gotta give it out to picked off as well, right? It worked really well this time around, and hopefully they can also progress it into the game number 3. I was noticing a few moments where I feel like this time around, Untitled were a little bit hesitant, but to be fair, Anarchy played really aggressive. But I feel like that's the whole reason, right? They had a lineup that they were comfortable and more confident this time around, and I feel like definitely a better jungler played a crucial part. Alucard is no way the worst hero, but definitely in that composition, he was not the best option either. So the Suyo played a massive part in getting the objective, securing the skills, being the cleanup crew that you really want your jungler to be, because Alucard is less of a cleanup crew, more of a DPS. So this time around, it worked better overall. But let's see what happens in game number 3, because Untitled will have to respawn back, or of course the Anarchy will ultimately come back with a reverse swing.
Curious to know though what kind of a gameplay that they will be bringing out. Third game, very important game for both of these teams. Swiss stage number 3. Yep.
Anything you wanna input, Zibo?
Well, I would say it was not the draft issue for both the teams. It was just the execution. Both the teams, they drafted out really well, right? Just that in the execution part, Anarchy was just a bit more aggressive than they were in the first match, and that was the reason they were able to get the upper hand in this match. They were Team Untitled. They were just choked down rather than having, the Roger would have been good if he had gotten the early game snowball, which Team Anarchy just denied with all of the invades and the engages starting from the early game.
Absolutely. And I think Of course, we've been seeing, especially with the new season, that invasion is becoming a little bit more crucial.
Yeah.
Because that day, yesterday, actually, not that day, yesterday we saw that Tartarus was able to absolutely dominate Armageddon with their invasions in the first game. But there is obviously a workaround that to basically build a team composition that doesn't exactly require 100% on your jungler, and then you mainly focus on your goal lane and your becoming the hyper carry, and you make it defensive play. I think that was something that they could have done for this time around, but of course they went in with the same strategy. But there's a saying like you can't really work something just because it worked once doesn't mean it can work twice as well. Fool me once, that sentence. Fool me once, fool me twice. That thing happened over here, and Anarchy was smarter. They were able to make a workaround that overall. And looking forward to how it goes into game number 3. Any predictions, Peachy? Do you think they're still gonna go for the Roger and Kadita again and again? First game it worked, second game it did not. Is third time's gonna be the charm?
Maybe, maybe not. They have to turn around the EXP and the tanker. They need something aggressive on that for the side of Team Untitled. For the Yuzhong, he was quite aggressive. He was marking down the members onto the back lanes. This time around, even Ruby couldn't do the same. That was the problem for the side of Team Untitled. And if they rectify that problem, I believe it's going to be a neck-to-neck competition because Anarchy are no less, and they also caught on to the problem very quickly.
Zero, of course. Did you expect this 1-1, the Suyo, or these two picks coming up? What's your input on that?
Honestly, no. I just counted out the 1-1 completely out of the possibility because there were just too many counters offer, but
Yeah.
Crisis had to prove me wrong there. Suyo though, it was quite I would say 50-50 chance. I did have him in mind because among all the junglers, I was just thinking what could be possible to get picked out against a Roger and everything. And Suyo does still stand ground, so the 1-1 was just
Absolutely.
too unpredictable.
Yeah, and I think even Untitled were not prepared, and because of the fact that they were caught off guard, really played a crucial role. And of course, 1-1, once she got farmed out, I noticed a lot of times she was just surviving it. Of course, that's a specialty to just bounce off the map left and right. And I feel like I was honestly expecting the Kufra to be a little bit more engaging, but yeah, just like you said, Peachy, I think they will have to switch out the picks a little bit, shuffle the deck, because if you make your deck the same, you're gonna get countered out. That's the whole thing. I mean, some of the heroes you can pick them up over and over again because they don't exactly have a constant counter that you can go for, but maybe it's time to consider that. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third game of this best of 3 series of Anarchy and Untitled into the Swiss stages, round 3, day 2. And this is the 1-1 brackets, and the score is 1-1 as well. And we just saw a 1-1 on the Land of Dawn. But overall, let's see if we're gonna see the score go for a 2-1 for the hands of Anarchy or Untitled. And of course, your casters are Peachy and Zero. And let's see what the draft is gonna go. Anarchy again, first pick. Are they gonna commit to the Baksha, Peachy?
Baksha, less possibility. I don't like it anymore. Like I want, if you're picking up a Baksha, just put him on the jungle. The other lanes, nah.
What about you, Zero?
I would say Basha does well in the jungle, yes, agreeing to Peachy, but I think in the EXP he can also work well as well. But most probably jungle is much better because compared to a roam or an EXP, I think it's better to go for a setter rather than someone who can just roll around the map.
Roller on the map. They see me rolling. They hate like that's a very old reference, very old one. Only millennials will get it. But even though I'm not a millennial, guys, I'm not 30. I just like old stuff. I got an old soul, but of course, let's shift the focus back into the game and talking about EXP lane options as well, because of course they play a massive crucial part. The first game the Yuzhong did, this time around the Lapu Lapu will get banned out. I'm actually a little bit offended. Why is there no Uranus? Where is the Uranus? Right? Where is it? Where is it? Come on.
Oh,
Okay.
like I know Untitled, okay, they are not a big fan of that. So for coming a them picking up a Uranus is just like a 5% chance out of the 100.
5% out of 100. Okay. Well, I would. Oh, okay. This time around, they pay respect to the Minotaur. Not really a fan of that because when you ban out the roamer, like unless
Mm.
it's a overpowered roamer, right? When you ban out the
Mm.
roamer, you get into the submissive position. Like, oh yeah, this thing, it kind of bothered us. You get into the defensive spot, and once you start playing around the defensive position, the only way you win is pushing the very late game. So if they commit to the bit and they have good enough front line to take the early game, just survive until that 14-minute mark, then let their marksmen scale up, that's the moment they can win. That is the strategy I would go if I was Untitled right now, if they are feeling a little bit defensive. If they're not, they have to repeat the circumstances that they had in game number one, but I feel like it was because Anarchy was a little bit shy to expose their cards just yet. What do you think, Zevo?
Yep, definitely. It's kind of like they were observing and playing mind games to Untitled, making sure that they kind of get ahead of themselves so that they can catch them off guard. Because first game it did not seem like Team Anarchy was playing much serious compared to Team Untitled. They did go full on out, and that was why in the second game they could not, take the immense pressure coming in from Anarchy. So, but in the third game, though, I feel like both the teams they would be going all out because it's a do or die situation for both of them to still stay in this tournament.
To be fair, they will move to the 2-1 brackets, of course, because we have to wait for the other teams to qualify. Tartarus and LCF, they've already have qualified, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, big news, but they got a 3-0. That's how Swiss stages work. Win 3 games, you qualify for the rounders. And LCF and Tartarus, they're going to be stress-free, while these teams are going to be stressful. So let's see what Anarchy goes in. This time around, they will not get the Kimi. So, Peachy, any predictions do you have in your mind?
Talking about the prediction, this time around they should be kind of focusing back again onto a Farsa. I want to see a Farsa. This game could be a very good thing, given the fact that Yuzhong may or may not be. Most likely, it's a no.
Okay, they go in with the Fovius. The Fovius. But what do you think, Zivo, of this? I think this is a good countermeasure for one particular hero. I would definitely say it's the Arlot. He's also a really good option. So I feel like committing to the Fovius first pick again in this meta is actually really good.
I was kind of thinking Phobias could have gone second or third. But as you said, if it works, then it should work out. But because right now, I don't think there is much of a hero that Team Anarchy can prioritize right now. Kind of guessing they'll go for surprise picks once again. They did prioritize the Roger, surprisingly. But then again, I guess they are waiting for Team Untitled to pick him up again to supposedly choke him down once more.
Choking down once more. Curious to see what they're gonna choke. Maybe the mid lane. Nah. Not I don't think they're gonna go for the mid lane. It is possible
I mean,
Anarchy would, because of course they wanna lessen the chances from Daki. Hey, are we gonna see a Sicilian Peachy? What do you think?
Very less chance though. I mean, I haven't seen Taki play on the Sicilian, but Selena is open. I want to see that Selena. This game around could be a good pick, but they need to get a counter on the Phobius. They need something to stop the Phobius so that he won't be making a move. And this pick just means that Entitled will have to pick something on their assassin or something like a fighter jungle, which doesn't has a lot of mobility.
Not a fan of the Hayabusa anymore. I'm gonna be honest with you after the nerfs, because I feel like it gets really, really weak from the mid to late stages. It's really hard, especially considering that he has been hit very hard with the nerf hammer, because you just cannot dish out that much damage with his sacks anymore. But still decent, yes. His kit has not been changed. He can still go into the back line, still do the flanking, still try to clear up base. He can still obviously take out targets like just like you mentioned, the Farsa, or he can even take out. Is Eve still a viable option? I don't think so. Okay. We go for the classic, good old,
Yeah, let's
reliable
go.
general, the Yushin Shin.
Mm.
Johan onto that YSS.
Oh my
This
goodness.
game is definitely going to be another interesting game. Come on, man. Oh,
Oh my
Ray.
goodness.
Look at that.
Ray!
Oh, looks like
We
Ray's
got
prediction is up.
we we got we got a Uranus, guys. Definitely. Oh my goodness. After 2 games of mentioning him continuously, Uranus has finally decided to bless us with his presence.
Yeah, my
Oh,
predictions will be right. Thank you, Untitled. Peachy, you said there were 500% chance. Yeah, that is my luck on gacha games, but this time I won the 50-50, boy. But still, I'm really nice to see a goody XP later, but he's gonna obviously go against the Phobius. Funny enough, Uranus doesn't exactly have the most dashes. He has only one, and he can also choose just not to use it because he can just heal. So overall, it's gonna be a good matchup, and he will be a menace overall. But love to see the Shin, of course. This hero, I I definitely love him because he's an underrated pick. Whenever he comes around, he dominates each time, and especially in the hands of Johan, who's an Shin main. I feel like we're in for a good show. And of course, his kit has been revamped a season ago, and a lot of people have not been using him to the max potential. But looking forward to this one. But hey, I of course, in the chat, somebody just said that I look Korean for fun. Thank you. But it's funny because Yushin Shin is also a Korean admiral around 1500. So that is a fun coincidence. But yeah, let's see what is going to be the next few picks. They are banning out the Kufra and the Selena. Sorry, Peachy. Unfortunately, the
oh.
Selena will not see.
Man, not even the Farsa.
Maybe another Bruno too, though.
What the
Like
hell?
this continuous matches we've been talking about team picked. So I guess after seeing the Uranus, I guess they just want to ban the Bruno because he might just be there to from either of the team. But well, the Kufra, it was quite a respect ban. Totally get it because he's been quite having the interruptions out despite not making a complete influence, but still the
Yeah.
minor stuff were just enough for Team Anarchy to ban him out.
Mm-mm-mm. But I'm looking forward to honestly still the Sicilian because I feel like Daki can still pick it up and it would be a decent option for a simple reason. Oh my god, making a debut of the slightly buff, slightly adjusted Lillian? And interesting. It's interesting. It's been a while since I've heard her like heard her voice lines and everything. Her dialogue was like, "Let's go to the Erudicio, have some fun," right? I
Yeah.
remember because I used to
Yep.
spam her when she was meta. She was a menace,
Yep.
absolute menace. She could alone defend lanes with her blooms. But yeah, Nerf hammer hit her hard, and she went
Yeah.
back to the void for a long, long while. But she's making a comeback, and it's Daki. Thank you, Daki, making a good use. She didn't get one purple lady, so she brought up a purple child.
The Lilia, right? Her lane clearing is quite fast compared to other mages. But then again, I feel like she lacks damage quite a bit until you have the full build on her. She's gonna be around picking everyone, the Phobius, Ruby, even anyone who's gonna be staying in the front lines. So, oh my goodness, okay. A lot of unexpected picks coming in. A bit he decided he's gonna go to another planet, get abduct an alien and use it there. That is a Zask, ladies and gentlemen. In the game with us, Peachy, what are your thoughts?
Definitely there is a surprise onto the mid lane, both of the teams, not one, but one last pick coming in. Joker, what is he going to do? I feel like this should be something of a support. Oh, did get a little bit of a support. Was hoping something like a Florine as well could have been such a good pick, but no, there comes the Edith. Interestingly though, why an Edith against this kind of a team composition?
I think it's to make sure that any kind of damage that the Zask will dish out, she's just gonna use the primal rest to dish it back to the team. And of course, she also dishes damage to the 3 targets. And she's a good counter against the 4Vs as well. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be diving into the Land of Dawn, and your 2 casters will be the voice of the arena, Zevo and of course Pichi. Take it over from here. Game number 3, the final showdown for the Swiss stage, round 3, Anarchy versus Untitled.
Let's go into the land of Dawn. Game number 3, as we predicted, 2-1 is here. But which team? I am curious to know if Team Anarchy will be the one picking it up or Team Untitled.
Yep, certainly. That is what I'm curious about Peachy as well. Oh, it does seem like either this on to the Rome position against a Uranus. Oh well, that works out well. She can definitely go and hinder the positions. But right now, as we talk, Lilia and Zask, both of them have quite the unique skills to lane clear, and it does seem like they might just clear it out against each other on time. But top lane, though, already a lot of pressure. Pickoff is there helping Crisis away. That I just realized it is a gold lane Ruby this time. No marksman, but a gold lane Ruby. Right now, the Crisis, he might be getting taken down. He does escape. First blood, Joker has to go down. Okay, that was quite a bit greedy for them to go for the first blood. Given that it is a Ruby, she would have the sustain. But then again, quite a good start.
Ruby Gold Lane. Okay, that's a really interesting. Onto the game number 3, was expecting a little bit of a hard counter, hard kind of a gameplay, but Team Anarchy are really setting their eyes onto that. Oh, and Bid also though. Look at him. It's gone. Turtle's gone. Taimiko with the perfect retribution thus gets it on. Zohunt would be the first one to go down in that team fight. Joker onto the other hand, onto the back lane, still trying to, with the primal red dealing damage. Will they be able to get off with the damage though? Because into the back line, you're talking about how Deadly wants to get a HP off every 2 members. Beelzebub with a sliver of HP escaping away.
Piece of cake for Deadly on that Uranus. He can survive that massacre pretty easily. Crisis is having a tough time against Shane on that Irithel. Gets away with that flicker. Almost slither of HP gone. Bit is there for the help. Shane, he might be overcommitted. But then again, there was a minion to save him out. Picked off. Baby looking for a set to go. But still, nowhere quite near.
1-for-1 trade, like 1-for-1 score into the hands of both of the teams. Now I'm really curious to know how the game would be going around the mid game to the late game, given the fact that the mid is most important for both of these teams. You're talking about how Shane would be having a power spike over 3 of his items. You need to make sure the Deadly is also getting his lane cut to come into the team fights, making sure they will be having a smoother experiences in the team fight. But picked off this time around. Yes, finally the Badang roam. I want to see how much that they can interrupt, how much they can immobilize them with the walls.
Yep, certainly you are required to have set with that flicker and the wall combo. And it's quite juicy to see because they're all moving together, and one good combo is enough to hinder the whole formation of the team. But right now, I feel like Team Anarchy, they do need the farm because right now they are just ants, if I have to say, because the amount of continuous damage that is going to be coming in from Hayabusa, Lilia all together, they won't be able to sustain it much unless they start having their power spike. Knowing that Anarchy do not go for the turtle contest, maybe focusing themselves on farming much more, having to avoid the team fights as of now.
and looks like Joker though. He did not make a bush check, which was a problem for Daki right there, in getting interrupted and low in HP. It was not a good sign though. Picked off onto the other hand, very proactive, and I'm not sure why Anarchy did not go in for the contest. They do have the resources. They could have made a play or maybe get a counter play towards the top lane, given the fact that the turtle was at the bottom. Oh, Kimmy! Crisis. Oh, sorry, my bad. Crisis will be the first one to go down. That would be a double kill picked up by the Daki. Look at that. The AoE damage that Daki gives in is just too much. Deadly, onto the other hand, trying to make a re-engage but has to move out of the situation. Zohunt, onto the other hand, 50% of his HP draw. Wait a minute. Kaiviku does get stunned up, but not enough to make the Ugi shadow kill.
Yep, certainly. That was quite the protection coming in from Beelzebub, but then again, I think they have to lose their mid lane in order to survive. Right now, Kaiku goes for the dive with his Zogi Shadow Kill, does not have enough damage to burst out anyone. Given that there were 3 people, he could not target his ult onto a single person. But as of now, Crisis might be struggling a bit against the Irithel, but Uranus finally, after being slippery for so many times, he does get taken down.
Go the heat into the land of dawn. The heat is just firing it up on the higher temperatures as of now. The top lane turret already prioritized into the hands of Team Untitled. They are just making sure to get it onto their hands with the neutral objectives as well. But Zohunt though, I mean, you're talking about a YSS. YSS is known to get the farm up towards that, like till the 12th minute, and then he's known to make the damage. So naturally, them avoiding the turtle is a good plan. But okay, Primal Rat coming in. On top of that, there's just so much damage. Dominators descend onto the safest possible. Beelzebub would be the first one to fall down. The AoE damage was something that they were lacking, and they got it. Crisis trying to get a chase onto Kaimiko, but Daki would be the first one to get shut down by Zohunt. Will they be going in for more, given the fact that Deadly is all alone and Shane might be coming in?
Look at that! Oh my
God! No way! He gets pinned down to the wall, and the fist crack is just enough to take him down. But onto the other hand, Deadly and Shane trying to get it on, but the shift has changed towards Shane, and Zohunt gets the kill.
Okay, Untitled, they just went one by one in a group of people, thinking that they would be able to win it because they lack a bit of damage. And but why is he's getting that damage spike now? And aside from that, there are a lot of CCs. We got Ruby, we got Phobius, we got Badang all together. With all those interruptions, I don't think you should be going in alone. But right now, bottom lane gone for the side of Team Untitled. Finally, Team Anarchy is going somewhere as they proceed on towards the 8-minute mark. Hopefully, they should be able to take down Deadly here. Look at that fist crack coming in as well. Forced out the revitalized Deadly. He just went away. Of course, it's a Uranus that we're talking about. After using everything on that Uranus, they're just left home and empty-handed.
But Anarchy, the power spike is really coming in through for them. Look at them. I'm really liking how they are playing all together, trying to target Shane. This time Shane, now a little bit of an HP chipped off of him. Top lane, will they be getting it? But okay, Crisis with the lifesteal, still just making sure to evade all that. Hayabusa should have waited for Crisis to clear off the lane and then made the Ugi Shadow Kill. Would have been, a little less lifesteal for the Ruby, but okay, misjudgment will be there. It's just a game. Come on, guys. That would be possible. But on the other hand, Joker, though, comes up with a knock-up, but trying to shift the attention so that Beelzebub picked off won't be going towards the team fights. Onto the other hand, the Nightmare spawn just getting deleted and melted is just crazy to watch.
I actually want to see the builds as to how far they are progressing as of now. Because if we do see, right, damage is starting to come from the side of Team Anarchy. There goes Craig all together on Joker, but he does not survive the killing spree coming in from Johan right there, and an Ogi Shadow kill in between. Beelzebub has to get down for his team. That is Johan is chasing while Deadly is out there zoning a lot of people, but that is a equal trade 2-for-2 coming in for the side of both the teams around that Lord. Hopefully both Yishe, he does not have his retribution while Hayabusa does. And with his quad shadow, he should be able to catch up in no time. Knowing that, Anarchy, they will give the Lord some.
Does have the dominant size, which is a good thing. Now that he will be trying to slow down the attack speed as well as the healing as well, but they need it for the Uranus. I'm talking about the sea health, but also trying to be up. But Anarchy going in with too much tankiness, though they're just putting everything on Johan as well as Bid. I don't think that could be a good problem. But Fovius, though, let's not forget his contribution towards the team fight as well. Into the back lanes, still making those noise, making sure the team entitled will be scattered. But this is going to be a good fight for the Lord. We're talking about the level 1 Lord, the first Lord in this game, Joker, making sure would not be out of HP. He knows he's just trying to, locate all of them before Johan as well as Carmico will get that window of opportunity.
Yeah, certainly Team Anarchy, they are positioning themselves around the Lord as well as Untitled as well, but none of them are gonna be starting the Lord first because it will give them disadvantage. But as of now, both the junglers, they need to be ready. Instead, look at that, picked off, catching 2 people. Lilia gets away with black shoes up, but Deadly is to fall down in the hands of Anarchy. Right there, Lilia, this time she escaped. Wall coming in from picked off. The Inferno Pursuit is there. Joker escapes, but comes back in the hands of Phobias. Once again, Shane caught really low, but he will be getting away, but not kind. Kudo gets his down from Zohan. Mega kill in his hands. With this Team Anarchy, they have secured the Lord successfully.
4-for-3 trade. Well, Big Dog is on a chase for that, but okay, he's quite low though. I mean, Shane can make the play, but now there comes Crisis as well. The stun, the fist crack will be there. There is a flicker from Shane, but will he be able to manage to survive the Crisis? On the other hand, we're trying to make sure to get something out of that, or of the lifesteal, but that Deadly also jumps in. What is it going to be? The tension is rising. Look at them. The zone out is there. Crisis looking quite low. Would be going down into the hands of Shane, but Shane though gets caught onto that Lord. Joker and Daki are there into the position. Knock up for picked off, looking quite low. Primal Wrath coming in while the Infernal Pursuit is there onto them. They have to back up though. Johan does jumps in at the right moment, but there is none of them trying to take the damage which is coming in from the side of Team Untitled.
That was a good choice not going after Uranus because it is of no use. He's just gonna heal himself and get away, and you will just be wasting your resources and your time altogether. Instead, focus on the other objectives, which is quite around the map because Team Anarchy, they have to go for more turrets for the side of Team Untitled because the map control, Untitled still has it, but Joker, he's caught by Bid, gets taken down. Johan gets a shutdown as well. Bid is to fall down in the hands of Daki, just out there bursting everyone. Crisis trying to make a play. Defended coming in, but too much damage for him. He still goes for it. Good, that's the Winter Crown popped out, but not enough. Shane having the range, he will be bursting him down. Now they're picked off is to fall down. Next shutdown in the hands yet again. Beelzebub is the only one remaining so far. Okay, that was an overextension. Peachy, don't you think?
Definitely an overextension, and plus Untitled are having their power spike along with them having the frontliners. Now this kind of a small micro decisions really helps, and look at that. Just a moment ago, Team Untitled had that a snowball, but it was just like a push and pull right from the game number 1. It is just a shifting for both of the sides, but the major goal was there into the hands of Untitled, which is something of a good news for them. Like they were able to get as much as goal onto their hands even without the kills. Look at them, 14 for 13, 14 minutes into the game. There is a contest for that little orange buff. But Joker, on to the other hand, making sure they won't be getting any, trying to get ready for the Lord as soon as possible. In the river area, though, both of them have to make sure they will be getting it. But I'm really liking how Untitled are making sure the pressure will be up for the lanes as well.
Yep, certainly they do not forget about the lanes, right? They just go around clearing the whole lane so that the team is divided. But right now, Joker is caught up once again, might not be surviving, taken down. Edith is not quite suitable for roam because she's quite squishy compared to other tanks. But we do see Shane making a cross move out there, backdoor push, but that is quite enough for Team Anarchy to maybe pick up a bit of an advantage in their hands. But no, Deadly is to fall down. Followed up by Pickdog, gets the killing spree. Daki has to use her black shoes. Crisis. He won't be surviving that burst. That does too much damage and a lot of lifesteal coming in as well. But supposedly trying to help his team, but it is not enough compared to all the bombardments and the arrows coming in from Irital and Lilia altogether.
Oh my god, the Lord though, Untitled are having the upper hand unless Zohunt thus gets the window of opportunity to jump in with the retribution. No window of opportunity presented for Zohunt. Look at that, the top lane, the pressure is up there. Anarchy have to move back, making sure that they are taking off the minions. What is it going to be? 16 minutes into the game. This is definitely the late game you guys are talking about. Daki as well as Joker are there already on the position, and Crisis getting melted down by Shane is not a good thing to see as of now. And Johan as well, he picked up the immortality at the right moment, making sure that even if he gets down on the situation in the team fight, he will be having a little bit of a backup, but he needs to time that. He really needs to time that, given the fact that there is just so much damage. And let's not forget Shane though. We look at the items very quickly as of now.
Yeah, I love to look at the items. Oh my goodness, most of them are all full built, right? But the Lord is in the base. Chaos has erupted. Deadly fall down. Followed up by Daki. That might be a reverse counter coming in from the side of Team Anarchy. Kanku gets taken out in the hands of Johan. Now Team Untitled, they have to get back. I feel like both the teams, they are just brawling it out at this point because once again you see Untitled winning, another see Anarchy winning, but still though the inhibitor is down for the side of Anarchy, so the enhanced minions is gonna be quite a menace given that they don't have a marksman aside from Yishin Shin out here. So clearing would be a little bit slow as well, but they are quite marching onto the base this time. Lord is quite far. Still, I can't really decode what Anarchy is trying to go for.
Absolute late game. Both of them though. Shane playing around very safely, which is a good sign for the side of Team Untitled. But the problem is how long? How long can you play safe? And let's not forget there is no penetration for Shane though. I mean, he did not pick it up, and onto the side of Team Anarchy as well. I did not see any. So they do have damage. Come on, look at that. They do have the vision as well, but damage from the side of Team Anarchy. They need to time it out when and how they are playing. For the side of Team Untitled, they cannot manage for a re-engage because once they spend their resources, it's just they have to wait in for a cooldown, like maybe like a 5 to 7 seconds, and then they can. And if Anarchy captures during that moment, it's going to be a a plus for them. That is what they did under the last team fight, but this time around, Crisis, hey, wait a minute, Deadly and Chain, they are on the chase. Hey, flicker play by Crisis, though he's looking quite low. There is a Wind of Nature, but looking quite low with the immortality. Kaimiko would be the one taking down by Johan, the jungler for a jungler. The Lord is up. Johan with an easy turtle, but wait a minute, base though. Look at that. Shane is also on the chase. Johan
Okay.
makes Johan makes the recall.
Yeah, he's gonna make it in time. I mean, that was a heart attack.
Picked off.
If they were, in if they were not paying attention to the minions, then the minions would have ended. But right now, that is 3 versus 5 people around the enhanced floor this time, and I don't think Anarchy would let that slip out, because this is gonna help them a lot in pushing the whole map and supposedly finishing the game, because it's gonna go quite long. If it goes long, Lilia and Irtal are gonna be having the time of their life. But Johan is there for the side of Team Anarchy as well, the Yishin Shin. But then again, they have to end it as quick as possible. You do not want to extend the game for that much of a time.
20 minutes have passed since this game has started, and Entitled as well as Team Anarchy, it has been such a push and pull for all that snowball. I'm really loving how Shane is playing and along with Johan, but it is now Johan's time to shine. Look at him, 8-0, 8-2-8 is something that they were hoping for, and they got it. Look at that, the Lord advantage. You're talking about the red aura Lord coming in from the mid lanes, while Team Entitled are having to support those inhibitors, and if they lose those inhibitors, the pressure is going to be quite high given the fact that it is just too late in the game. And look at that.
Ooh, do or die situation for both the teams. If Team Anarchy gets wiped out here, it might be just the end. Same goes for Team Untitled as well. So both the teams are gonna be bracing themselves for maybe the final stretch, having the Lord deflected towards the other side right now, buying them some time. But look at Fist break, missing out. Joker gets taken down. Hayabusa trying his best to clear the minions up as well. Shane is taken down, and this time a full wipe out side of Team Anarchy, and the base is out for grabs unless Team Anarchy is trying to delay a bit. But yes, they go for a 2-1 victory.
What a match it was. And I'm back again, of course.
So welcome back.
Welcome back, Ray.
Nice to be back again. And of course, I feel like this match was definitely the best decision maker, especially considering the fact that this was a tug of war, a push and pull back and forth. It almost seemed to feel like Untitled would grab the win, considering the base was exposed and almost got taken down by the hands of Untitled, until the fact that Johan was able to defend it. So I feel like this was a very close one. Untitled maybe in few instances made a few mistakes, and ultimately they gave out the game to the hands of course, Anarchy, and they will be securing the victory in the Swiss stage round 3, getting themselves a 2-1 pointer, getting one more point close to make it for the knockout playoffs. But overall, I feel like their team composition was definitely lacking in damage in that early game. You can clearly see only in the later phases where Johan came online and his damage was the main carry force, the main damage dealer, where they were able to do a lot of things. Other than that, we can clearly see, okay, Zask also. We obviously have to take consideration of Zask. He was mainly the DPS. Johan was like DPS and burst, and rest were basically all utility providers. Mainly their job was to CC, crowd control the Hayabusa, Edith, as well as Deadly, of course. And a lot of times I gotta give it out to, Shane is the MVP for a lot of instances, dishing out the proper damage, diving into the backline with flicker and everything. But ultimately, it's a sad story for them tonight, as they will lose out and go into the 1-2 brackets. But all hope is not lost. Untitled, they played extremely dominant all until the last minute, where ultimately Anarchy won't get the win. But overall, this was a good game. What do you think, Peachy?
I mean, they put everything on Johan as well as Fred. Even the Phobias was not on like semi damage, it was all on tank. He picked up all the tanky items, which was a little bit surprising for me given the fact that they needed a little bit of damage onto the team fights. But as you have already mentioned, how they were playing, they were losing out the early game. That was the moment that Entitled should have taken note that they had to get on the game at least 15 minutes and just get over with that. Because Johan, once he's farmed up, and which he was hoping for, like there were
Yeah.
moments when I've seen the neutral objectives was left out by Anarchy for just this reason that the Johan would be getting farmed up, and it was a successful right from the minute.
Absolutely. And Zio, anything want to add on before we end? After all, we still have one more series left.
It was actually a trust the process draft for the side of Team Anarchy. I mean, giving all the damage to Yishin Shin and a bit as well. Both of them were the main damage dealers, while as you said, the other were all utility. They had to, wait it out till the late game until their whole build was complete, their power spike was there, so that they were able to, get onto the upper hand. But that was quite risky as well, because if you had made a wrong early, it would have backfired, and they would have just lost everything that they planned out to do. So definitely there are some moments where you have to trust your teammates the most, and I think this match kind of depicted it out really well.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, right now we're going to be taking a short break because, of course, we have to make space for the next teams, which is Daaku Sena versus Zohunt. They're going to be also facing off against each other in this round 3 of Swiss stages in the same brackets as Anarchy and Untitled. So make sure you stay tuned, and we'll be right back with the second set of Best of 3 series. So stay tuned on Indian Gaming Corps. We'll be right back.
दिक्कत देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, परफेक्ट। ये तारा इनको बहुत ही ज्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, परफेक्ट। कद देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, परफेक्ट। ये तारा इनको बहुत ही ज्यादा कद देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, परफेक्ट।
Welcome back, everyone, to the Mythic Showdown brought to you by Indian Gaming Corps. And we are back with the second game for the day, and it will be between Team Zohunt going up against Team Daaku Sena. So I'll be your host, Hostami, once again. And with me this time will be Debbie as well as Ash TC. So, you know, I will just do the rapid fire questions as soon as possible. But before that, I would like to announce something that is going to be the giveaway that is still going on. So to participate onto the giveaway, you just need to be active onto the live chat and just type hashtag Mythic Showdown. So if you are lucky, you might end up winning the dice as well. But till then, we will be having the match. Like as I already said. So Debbie, give me your thoughts regarding how like Zohunt, they have been one of the top dogs already, and Daaku Sena, they are making the comeback onto the tournament scene. So these guys, I do believe they haven't faced each other yet, and they are meeting finally here onto the Mythic Showdown.
Yeah, it's gonna be one interesting of a match, Itami, because yeah, like you mentioned, Johan has been making their name so popular into this leaderboards as well. And of course, if they are here, they are one of the big teams already, and they have been such a well-known teams as of now. But the thing is, Dakusena, they have been making their rise, right? And now that I think about it, they have been able to perform so well. All the matches that they played, so this time around, they might actually become a challenge that Johan needs to face.
Definitely. And Dakusina, they have kind of a bit of a lineup change. It is like Funny Valentine as well as Jazz,
Yeah.
as well as one of the members, I guess it is Haitatsu. Yeah. These are the three OG members for the side of Team Dakusina, and two of them are quite fresh onto the lineup of Team Dakusina. But for now, they are making up with the momentum, and the synergy is quite coming up. So Ash, which side do you actually think that could actually pull off more onto this best of three series?
I saw best of three series today. Zohan playing against Mitei Mac, a new team, and they managed to get a 2-0 score. I was casting over there at Trinitra, so I mean it
Mm.
was kind of a big match for them. Not a big match, a normal match, but they managed to win. So it's kind of, I mean, if you're gonna see the whole Mythic Showdown and Zohan's performance, it's good. They played well. In other tournaments also they had shined themselves well. So I think Zohan will be the one getting their win today. Maybe 2-1 will be the score. Dakusena will be giving a strong fight, but you know what? Whoever win the toss will be winning the match because it's not
Yeah.
about the game only. Server will be playing the role as well in this match.
I do agree because yeah, server kind of decides the pace of the best of three series, as you said. If it extends to the game three, the toss is redone. But anyways, coming back to the point, as you said, the server will be affecting the performance of the players as well because Zohunt is from Mizoram and they have the Bengal server advantage. Meanwhile, Dagosena, they are a mainland team, so it is going to be either Mumbai or Delhi. The ping differences are definitely going to be there, but the first pick are also going to be mattering because one thing onto my observation onto this patch, it is not about the first pick priority. It is about like supports are prioritized more than the setup tanks. And slowly but surely, the utility meta is also coming back. Assassins are good, I agree, but utility are starting to get the recognition they deserve. And most importantly, the EXP laners buff.
Mm. Yeah.
That has been a significant change onto the Land of Dawn completely because the EXP heroes, they can also do the kind of carry that the gold laners as well as the junglers used to do before. And EXP laners will be getting their recognitions as well if they are able to execute it well.
And I think you're right there. And one thing to add to the point is that the jungle creeps respawn time is so late that you can do a tea break when you're about to head to your jungle and just try to take those creeps. So it's very understandable. The jungles are slowed down a little bit, and moreover with the buff in the XP laners like Itami mentioned, I think Yuzong, Lapu Lapu, Paquito has always gone has has already made a comeback, and most of the time, the teams that have the Lapu Lapu is always gonna be coming out on top. And I do not understand why, or it does have to be dependent on the hero users as well. Because even with the meta with the Yu Zong, even if he does lose in lane, when it comes to team fight composition, most of the time the Lapu Lapu wins. So I think Lapu Lapu is gonna be such a contested hero, because I think even Daaku Sena Haitetsu does really, really good onto this hero as well as a win onto the other side. So we'll never know what they're gonna be giving for us. So let's see what we will see into the bands.
Definitely. And Ash, I already mentioned it as well as Debbie highlighted it quite well regarding the EXP thing. You yourself like playing the EXP heroes. So, if you are still active onto the game, you are quite familiar with the fact that the EXPs can be one of the things that are going quite noticeable as well. It is the Yuzhong as well as the Lapu Lapu, followed by one of the, in my opinion, one of the most broken EXPs that got a significant buff is going to be that Uranus. So if he is
Oh,
not banned out, he can actually be a go-to pick for the EXP lane.
Forgot Arlot as well. Arlot is
Oh yeah,
something
oh,
right now.
Arnott. Yeah.
I
yep.
mean, he is in the meta as well, and he's doing fabulous things. But quite pretty nerf bans I've been seeing from both these sides. A Fanny for the Daaku Sena is kind of respect from Johan, but Lucas as well. I mean,
Oh.
I know you are going for the respect bans for both these sides, but these two heroes are nerf right now. They can be easily countered with the
Mm.
Yuzong, as you mentioned, Uranus as well. So a lot of EXP fighter heroes are there, and surprisingly, yesterday I saw at Mythic Showdown there were two EXP, one in the lane, one in the EXP lane, and they managed to win the match as well against LCF. It was Maf Esports. They went for a Paquito goal lane and Badang EXP, and that was fabulous from the side of Maf. So we're gonna see that sandwich meta as well from both the sides. EXP will be there,
Yeah.
but Surgeon will be taken out from Daaku Sena. I mean, uh, people are not yet comfort with the new meta. I think so because they may be
Oh.
thinking that meta could be changed before the MSC. Maybe assassins come back again, so maybe that's the reason people are not getting adapted to it, and see those pretty same bans going on.
Mm.
I kind of agree with you.
It's
Yeah, Debbie, go ahead.
I think it has to be respect band, right, for Daaku Sena though. Because like as already mentioned, I think Lucas is such a counterable hero now, especially by the Valentina. Because the energy that he have, it's just too hard to regenerate for the beast form. But for Valentina, you can just, get it instantly, right? So maybe it's just a respect band, I don't know, but it's very easy to counter. Maybe Dakusena do not want to play against these heroes so far, and even onto the red side though, you usually ban the Lucas, but like you already mentioned, the buff into the XP laner is gonna be changing up the metas, but I haven't seen the XP laners that's popular being banned away here.
I agree with you. And Zohan, they decided to go out with a fanny ban. That probably is a respect, like you said. And the Lucas,
Mm,
yeah, he has like received a significant nerf. So it will be giving out the recognition to other heroes. Other heroes will be getting the chance to shine, and Zohan will be having the first pick priority. As STG said before, that onto the goal lane, fighters are buffed. So one of the fighters that has been quite a priority onto the goal lane is the Roger. He can become
yeah.
like transforming into a marksman as well
Yeah.
as the full form will be coming up. So if he is able to keep up with the goal lead and the itemizations are quite right on time, then he can play a significant role. And Lapu Lapu, the EXP priority we are already seeing here from the side of Team Zohan.
Yup, Lapu Lapu being picked up from Zohunt right now, and maybe we're gonna see a Uranus from
Oh.
Dakusina at this point. It's open as well, but they prior to the bans of Dakusena, you can see Bakshia and Lucas being in the ban list, as Debbie mentioned, and I also told that it's counterable. Bakshia as well, but it's kind of they are fearing Dusty Mizo. We all know he's a fighter jungler player, so he can go for these things. And right now, you don't have any mage to counter this fighter jungler. Jukshin not in the meta, Cecilia not walking well. Xavier is kind of you can say 50-50 going on. So it's like we all know the mid lane is kind of nerf, EXP is buff right now, and jungle is kind of 50-50 going on. With the assassin, it's not going great, but with the fighter, it's kind of working well. So maybe that's the reason they banned those tanky heroes. And as we see the Lapu Lapu here, maybe we're gonna see Uranus or Phobius will be entering into the scene, but no, it will be a Harith. I was expecting a Phobius Harith combo, but Harith and Mathilda will be there. That means utility coming out soon from Daaku Sena. And Daaku Sena is going to be entering into the scene.
The options.
They can maybe go out with the mage. Like Faden likes picking out the Valentina, but okay, they did go
Ooh,
offer for a mage, but that won't be
nice.
a Valentina. But they go out with a Farsa as well as
Mm.
a Roger. So Roger being a flex pick, it is yet to be decided whether he will be going onto the goal lane or onto the jungle. But jungle is also quite possible because that is Dusty Mizo.
Yeah.
He likes picking out the fighter junglers.
oh my goodness, we're
Mm.
gonna see a
True.
Hayabusa from Daaku Sena. That's something I was not expecting at this point, because
Oh.
it's a nerf hero, and I'm not sure it's gonna work well or not. But Tami, what do you think, Khalid? Being in the buff list
Okay.
is a big counter of Matilda. So, what do you think? Could have been picked right now for the roam. It could have been a good choice. I mean, it can have the possibility to counter the Matilda, as well as it can give the, I mean, rotation towards each and every lane. He got the mobility. Before that, Yuzong, Uranus, big threats will be in the ban list.
Yeah, as you said, yeah, Khalid can actually be a priority, but I haven't seen much Khalid onto the tournaments.
No.
I guess I haven't been that active, or maybe not, but
No,
I
no, no.
haven't. Yeah,
You're totally right about it. That's the question I'm asking. I mean, people are
Mm.
not opting the Khalid, even though he's in the
Yeah.
buff list, even though we have been seeing MPL Indonesia and Europe tournaments that
Yeah.
Khalid is being picked up, but not in the Indian scenario right now. There was a time,
Mm.
if Debbie remembers, Khalid was the go-to through hero in a in a tournament match,
yeah.
but nowadays it has been forgotten, just like the Kaza. But mentioning the Kaza, Kyrie went for the jungle.
The I mean, it was funny to see the Kaza into the into the user of an assassin. But yep, look at the bans coming through for the side of Zohunt though. You guys were right, because look at that. We already pick up the Lapu Lapu, so it has to be something like a Uranus into the XP and
Okay.
the Black Dragon as well.
Yeah.
But back to the M6. Wait. M3 meta. Was it M3? I forgot.
MP,
The
obviously
Rosa into the
2021.
yeah. Wait.
Yeah, M3.
It's
It was M3.
2021. We are repeating it, and it's like the EXP will be there in the goal. As Itami mentioned, that Roger is the priority list at the goal lane, being a fighter. I maybe for at that moment, I also forgot about the Ruby and Masha. Those two were also effective in the goal lane as well.
Mm,
But apparently, it is a Ruby Gold Lane. We did see the Ruby Gold Lane last year. It was like
yeah.
it was the Ruby as well as the Mencitar was also going onto the Gold Lane. So Ruby has
Mm,
also got the significant buffs. Her lane
mm,
clearing is really fast, and the I'm offended plays can be coming up with a clutch. So for the clutch plays as well as the sustainability and the lifesteal, Ruby can do that work. If the zoning is right, Dusty Mizo can just dive in and go out for the kills. But Daaku Sena, they have decided to go out with the Kadita. They are prioritizing those heroes which has received the major adjustments, and Kadita is one of them.
Yeah.
I think I like a Kadita against a Farsa, but the problem is that he's gonna be needing a lot of spacing, and Farsa does have a lot of ways to try to counter the Kadita as well, right? Because he might actually bring out the Purify too. So the Kadita is so good once you have the Petrify in the full combination, and with the change up in her skill sets as well, the faster force rings, the faster speeds, it's gonna be a little bit harder to counter. But the Purify does the job, so she has to be very, very mindful of what she does. But then again, here comes the problem for from the Hayabusa again. So this Versa is gonna be needing all the protection. But then the thing is, into the goal lane, it's the Ruby, right? He's gonna be having a lot of card control, and maybe even if he does go for the damage too, it's like basically 3 frontliners for the side of Zohunt. But then again, Daaku Sena does have a lot of damages.
Yeah, and we are heading on to the Land of Dawn. It will be Team Zohunt going up against Daaku Sena onto this best of 3 series. So, casters, take it away.
Thank you for the throw, Tommy, and we'll be seeing you soon after the match ends. But right now, as Debbie mentioned about the Forza, I feel pity for Forza and Harith. Both of them are right now being in the target list. Harith from the side of Daaku Sena, Forza from the side of Team Zohunt, because Glue is also there. I mean, all those backline casters are being there at Daaku Sena right now. And Ruby will be fighting on to the Harith. And look at the fight already on. It's aggression coming out from the side of Daaku Sena from the beginning. But it will not be a battle for the side of Zohunt yet.
Yep, and after a bit of early game, I think the early game's like a 50-50 at this point, and if it was any other chances, if it was any other day, any other times, it could have been a absolute win for the Versa. But this time around, it is a Kadita who's been buffed with the faster rotation as well. But look at Mizo Prime.
Oh my goodness, they are going on to the Harith, and the Shadow will not be missing out this time. They will be helping the Harith to conclude the assist, as well as the first blood goes to Hayabusa.
That was a great rotation coming out from the side of Daaku Sena with the early game that they had. So this is definitely going to be a good start for them. But that Steam is all though. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it will be not a good position for the Roger, and he'll be get down as well. But Debbie, as I mentioned about the server, looking after the second pick being onto Daaku Sena, I think it's a Mumbai server. So they're going with that assassin as well. So they got the server help as well. But in the meantime, the turtle has already started. Grab onto that. Oh my goodness. Kadita fights all our way to that Forza, and we'll be taking the turtle away from Hayabusa as well. Stalking Eagle coming up. Airborne being done by the Kadita at this point. In a very bad position. Gatot Kacha being trapped down by 3 members of Daaku Sena. Hayabusa will be the one getting his second kill right now into his hand. 4 for non. Turtle being on. Trade being on for the side of Daaku Sena.
And all the games are into their hands because 4 kills already under 2 minutes, and this is something you do not usually see against a Zohunt because they usually want to fight for the early game turtle, right? But this time around, Daaku Sena just gained it without any contest coming in and even taking some of the kills too. So for Zohunt here, I think they have to be playing a little bit safer onto the safer side. Even if they have the first this time around, they do have a very great counter for the first 2 great counters. So they have to be very, very careful on how they are setting up, how they are going, because the position time and time again for this Kadita for Yamrat is so on point. And Faden, look at that.
Again going on, it's Sogi Shadow kill. Matilda will be claiming the kill. AOG coming up, but will not be much help for that Forza. As Debbie mentioned before, as I told that I feel pity for the Forza, I feel pity for Harith, but right now Harith being in the safer zone because team got the early snowball. He got the early snowball, but this Forza is targeting again and again. Grab. No. It's the split on, and the grab being on at this point. It's a very bad kill. Flicker come up. He will be into the safer zone. Knocked out with the airborne.
Yeah, the early game is definitely not looking good for Zohunt, and Daaku Sena are doing so good and just trying to punish whoever is overstaying, and a little bit of gang onto the XP side with the wasted flicker. I think this is going to be good. Oh, look at the stun.
Oh my goodness, Redemption was about to come. Featherweight stepping on 7 4s and Petrify. It will be Kadita busting out that Roger. And Hayabusa in the meantime will be claiming another kill onto the Forza. Forza big target again and again in this match. Maybe you can call her a feeder, but what can she do?
Oh my goodness, this is such a miscalculation coming out from Dusty Mizo as well, and I would say this is not the best thing you want to do when you are in a roster. You just do not want to die until the middle part of this game, where you're gonna be signing so much when you have those 3 item packs, and he is definitely gonna be having the time right now because look at that, Yamraz being such a nuisance, always giving vision on where the Vaden or Dusty is gonna be. And even when their positioning is like, just a reveal, do not go for gangs directly, but look at Jazz though.
One more fight has come here, and look at that. Hayabusa going with one Shadow. Okay, Shadow kill on, and he will not be getting any kill. Will be coming back into the safer zone. Got the turtle for himself, but it's kind of it's good. They know that they need to surpass the defensive as well. But look at that gliding win. Come up, Slaver of HP, make a kill for the Hayabusa. In the meantime, but there will be a first kill for the Forza after all those, and shut down for the Hayabusa as well. Double kill will be secured by the Forza after all. This is what she needs. She needs a redemption, and she got redemption at last.
Yeah, this is this is such an uncomfortable position for Faden to be playing in, and we do not usually see him getting shut down to the first time, but this time around, Daaku Sena are just showing him the real this, and look at that, he already got the first build. It's the glowing one to his hands. Meanwhile, for the Hayabusa though, he's got 2 items already, the Hunter Strike as well as the Sky Piercer, and he does have a kills, but one shut down to him, it's just gonna be nerfing down onto the stacks that he had accumulated, but onto the mid side though.
Hilda being down by the Lapu Lapu. Easy kill for the, Zohan. They're coming back in a slow way, but it's a good thing. They were being outplayed again and again from the beginning, but right now, having some patience, having some defensive skills, they are back into the game. But how many times they will be sustaining it? Let's see. Turtle being on. Debbie, whom do you think gonna have this for Turtle?
I don't think Zohunt are trying to contest it either way, but if Family Problem does have a way to try to give out vision and go for the set, they might actually go for it.
The Turtle Dance on. Turtle Slayer. Hayabusa being the one. Grab being on right now. AOG comes up. It will be Hayabusa getting the Lapu being there. A lot of damage. Kadita right now find the first but a Slaver of HP. She will be managed to get back. No, it's a Roger. Will be taken down. Feather Airstrike come up. Dealing a lot of damage from the back line. Zaman Force being on. Harith into the scene. Slaver of HP managed to get back into the safer zone. Kadita flew away towards the base. Ruby right now being into the scene. Giving a lot of CC towards the glue. In the meantime, we can see dive into those 3 members of Daaku Sena. Lapu right now capturing onto that glue. Will he manage to get him down? Let's see. It will be Forza having a killing spree. Yogi Shadow kill comes up. It's a dive in charge coming from the Hayabusa, going back with the quad Shadow. Will be dismantling themselves from the fight. Great one. Trade being won by Zohunt, I can say.
Yep, but they did lose out on the turtle, and I think this has to be an equalizer right there, but onto the mid side though again.
Yeah, Feather Airstrike again and again. This time the Forza is angry. After all those outplays you did with her, she's not a Layla. So she is coming back with that rage right now and giving that heart say, but AOG, oh my goodness, Squad Shadow come up. Had a beautiful time. That's what I mean. It's a cat maybe having that reflex.
Yeah. Okay, I see though. It might be something that's here. Look at that.
Oh my goodness, they are giving any moment, no
Wow.
moment for the Zohunt. Ogi Shadow Kill will be the one taking out Roger from the map. Diamond Force come up, Ruby being there. She'll be captured easily. It will be Harith getting a kill onto the Ruby. Lapu needs to back off at this point. Blue buff will not be secured for Zohunt.
Yeah, this is gonna be a deny, another one for that's already for Dusty Mizo, and he's not gonna be having the best time. Meanwhile, for the mid lane though. Oh,
look at the position of the Forza, but we'll be finding her and she will be playing away beautifully. Zaman Force being on, stun coming up from the side of Zohunt, but it will be a gliding win, saving up that Harith, and she will be managing to hit down with the, damage onto the Forza easily. Lord being on. Debbie, whom do you think gonna have this Lord?
yeah, I think this is uncontestable for the side of Zohunt, but if they do contest it, they might be losing out again, because looking at the level differences for them, the Hayabusa is actually level 12 already and Rosa is still on to level 11, so they might not try to contest it, but do they?
Blue is playing a bigger role in this match. You can say is standing in front of the sustain wall as a sustain wall,
Yeah.
and Matilda being the one, the savior of this match. I mean, perfect
Mhm.
lineup. You can say Hayabusa is nerf, but managing to get the kills because of the lineup. I mean, they
Yeah.
literally played with the draft. We can say at this point again the fight being on. Ogi shadow kill this time
Oh.
onto a crib. In the meantime, tier 3 will be falling down. It will be the Harris. A lot of resources got burned down. Circling Eagles come up this time, hunching onto the Gthotkacha. In the meantime, we can see Harris coming back. AOG,
Oh.
perfect one. 3-man got down in the AOG. This time they are diving onto the Daaku Sena. But the airstrike cancelled out. In the meantime, Roger being in the backline. Ruby is the one getting the kill onto the hand, onto that Hayabusa slaver of HP. Managed to get back. Roger chasing down that Katita. Will be finding his way to get the kill into his hand. Right now, Matilda being charged by the Roger. Roger will be taken down by the Matilda. What a Uno reverse move coming out from the side of Daaku Sena. A lot of skirmish even. No, it's a lot being opened right now with
Oh.
the
Ow.
bunglers
We
down.
saw that. I mean, we saw that. I'm offended, but we're not gonna be saying anything about that because Zohunt actually successful in trying to stop Daaku Sena from taking this lure, but how long? The month force?
The Monfros come up. It will be the circling eagle. AOG for the save. Grabbing on right now. It will not be enough to take down any member of Zohan at this point. Feather West right with the flicker comes
Oh.
up. A lot of damage onto the glue. Needs to come back. Needs to go back into the safer zone. Gliding win was heavenly choice for the glue at that point.
Yeah, I think it's always the guiding wind that just saves any member of Daaku Sena from overstaying or from getting killed down, and this has to be a big problem for Zohan because they are heavily positioned to try to go for the backlines as well. But then again, when they have a lot of seal onto the Matilda, that it's just gonna be so hard. Even if you try to go back, you're gonna be going way back, and when you have to try to have a comeback, it's just you're gonna be caught dead into the midst of it all. So this is the problem with the composition that Johan already built. But the thing is, Daaku Sena, they do not usually have that way to try to be aggressive. But look at that, with that.
One more time, we're gonna see a fight coming off. First Saw will be the one. This time, Glue at a sliver of HP managed to escape. But they got a kill into their hand. It's a good one. Emraj being down at this point. Diamond Force come up, but look at that. Zohan coming back online into the match. And they maybe get the Lord this time into their hand. But a beautiful fight over there. Lapu needs to get back into the safer zone. Doesn't want to get down by that Harris, but look at that. Slowly. Daaku Sena, immobilizing. Lord will be taken down by the Roger. Diamond Force being on. 3-man grab on over there. AOG coming up. Killing spree for the Harris onto the Roger. Slaver of HP. Lapu being into the charge. But Hayabusa with the Quad Shadow. And the Oogie Shadow kill onto the Lapu. Lot of damage. Look at that. It will be a skirmish even. Kadita will be the one getting a double kill onto the Gthotkacha as well as the Ruby. 3-man down already from the side of Zohunt with the Lord being taken into their side. But it's kind of trade being won, I can say, from Daaku Sena.
I think Daaku Sena just ruined that, but it has to be the Lord that stopped them from even moving further into this game. But then again, it was a lot of fight for these teams. Both of these teams are just trying to go brawl it out, showing their hands, showing their face hand in hand. And yeah, already a defensive build coming through for Lapu as well as the glue though. So this is definitely going to be a long team fight that are going to be doing already the Holy Crystal. But look at the bravest fighter again.
Oh, I mean, this is when Mizo is going against that. Kama, far side, a very bad position. Will be cut off guard by the Hayabusa. Grabbing on. Lord is coming up, but it will be Lapu getting down at that point. Zaman Force will be used, defending the Lord down in the top lane. We can see the minions marching down and the split pushing. Notorious act from the Roger going on. He'll be getting the tier 3 in the mid. Maybe the second tier in the top will be getting down as well. But in the meantime, we can see Gthotkacha managed to take down the Hayabusa after all those tricky he did onto the first. He needs to be get down.
Yeah, he needs to be taken down, and this has to be the only the only compensation. But so far, Zaman Force, it's just used to try to zone him away. But you know, this Harry is gonna be hurting quite a lot because he's already gotten 3 core items that he's deemed it necessary. And yeah, but that's the 4th item is definitely gonna go for the Divine Glaive. So the frontliners here for the side of German are not going to be having the best time trying to stunt out, trying to soak out the damage coming through, as well as the true damage for for the Harris. So they have to be really, really careful. And I think the only late game that they have has to be the Roser. But there's a problem though.
Yeah, right now getting into the hand. Ruby will be taken down 1 second. It's a killing spree. And in the meantime, Glue was diving onto that windmill. Okay, look at that. The Harith doesn't want to stay back. He wants to go AOG for
Wow.
the gliding wind. Come up. Roger needs to back off. They will be getting the tier 2. Maybe inhibitor on the way, but Feather Airstrike was the one clearing out the minions at this point. Was Shadow being connected? Oogie Shadow on. 4-man there. Hypesa needs to go back into the safer zone. For the sake of his life, he will be spared.
I think that's such a good decision making coming out from Daaku Sena here, because the thing is, the more they try to stay in team fights, the more they are actually winning, because just because of the presence of the Matilda, they are not usually executed very easily. So that has to be the problem. But win here though.
Heaven needs to scared at this point. Second tier in the bot lane will be taken down. Lord being on. Let's see who'll be having their hand on this. But Feather Airstrike coming up at a very bad position. Gatokacha is right now holding up on the way. Will not be able to use any AOG for the save. Make a kill for the Harith. Last he got the man. And with this, we can see no more frontliners being there for Zohunt. Only Lapu Lapu being there. I don't think they'll be contesting this lot, but maybe coming on. Retrieving on. Let's see how it goes.
There has to be something here, because the Glue with split though.
They're not giving any chance to that Roger to come up to the Lord. Glue will be the one. Grab onto the Lapu, and Lapu will be dead as well. Kadita going on. Petri being on. Will be busting out that Mizo, but he will be fine. Oh no. Harith was there. Need to be cleared out that he is the one taking down the Ruby at this point.
And I think the more Zohan try to stay in team fights, the more they're gonna be giving away a lot of kills here and there. And the problem is that even if they don't try to go for fights and try to lengthen this game, it's gonna be a little bit harder than it was into the first few minutes, because this is a scaling Harry that we are talking about, and he scales much better than the Rosa 2 here. But look at the dive though.
Ooh, gliding wind, what a beautiful way. Xamon Force come up, Lord inhibitors into the inhibitor, diving into the charge right now. Gatotkata being held up by 4 members. Let's see how it goes. They managed to get the inhibitor, and they managed to another inhibitor as well. Monster kill for the Harith onto the Lapu. Get back into the safer zone. Glue will be taken down. 1-for-1 trade going on. Still not okay. Harith is diving into the wave, giving a lot of damage. Will be getting back Forza. Right now, let's see how it goes. They managed to defend the way, but Forza being alone is not a good thing. Look at that. What's on? Hayabusa going on to the Forza 1v1, and Hayabusa will be getting the kill. This is why I'm telling she shouldn't be. Stay alone. Hayabusa is marking onto her. A very blunder mistake, you can say, because minions marching into the base, maybe locking down the base at this point. Nobody is there to clearing up. AOG coming up, capturing one member. Harith will be fine. He'll be going back with the absorb being on to his side. Managed to defend the base though.
Yeah, this is I think the guiding wind has to be the MVP for this game, because most of the time when there's a little bit of a catch up coming out from Johan, there is always a guiding wind coming out from Haitatsu that's always saving his members time and again. And they haven't been actually out positioned most of the time. Even if they were caught up into the CCs, the guiding wind is always there to provide aid, and full build already for Mr. Benny Valentine here. Very funnily enough, he's got the lantern in order to deal so much amount of damage into this tanky frontliners that Zohan have had, and this has to be a big problem for them now. And always getting solo kill by the Hayabusa. Faden is not having the best time just trying to get anything here, but look at that though.
Smash is going deep. Quad Shadow being used. Let's see if we can manage to escape. No, it's the Kacha and 4 members making that sure that Hayabusa will be onto the heaven side. In the meantime, Ruby got down by the Harith. Harith coming up right now. Will be getting onto his hand on that Kacha and managed to get down the Roger. Glue in the scene. 2-man down at this point and a very bad position. Will be getting onto the Lapu. Forza got melted down by Harith. Legendary exemption from that Harith. Shutdown coming off from Totkacha at this point. What a movement, grabbing on Slaver of HP. Lapu wants to defend the base. Minions marching onto the base. Add two of them at a Slaver of HP. They will be locking the base. Crystal will be up. Daaku Sena will be the one getting a first point in this BO3 series between Zohunt.
That was such a good game coming out from Daaku Sena here. And Mr. MVP of this game is Funny Valentine, obviously, but I would surely give it to Haitatsu, but it was such a good momentum, no throw whatsoever coming out from Daaku Sena.
Hello, Hostami, are you here?
I am
Ustami.
here. Yeah, I am here.
Hostami, just
And
look
yep,
at the KTA 4-1-2-3. I mean 4-1-23. Haitatsu just took the game. Haitatsu, you can say.
Haitatsu.
definitely. Hi, Tatsu was quite high on that Matilda flying around. But anyways, we are back onto the casting decks, and yep, Zohunt, they went out with, let's say, utility kind of a draft, but still they didn't had a healer for their side. So maybe
Yeah.
if they have a healer, then maybe they would have been able to sustain a lot onto those team fights. But for this game, it didn't happen, and Daaku Sena, they made full use of their early game
Mm,
advantage because of the Hayabusa. So assassins are generally supposed to have a high advantage onto the early game scene, and that is what exactly happened. They made full use of it, and they did make sure that Zohunt are not going to be out farming them. So a really good execution coming out from the side of Team Dakusina. They did have the server advantage, but still, I would like to give kudos to them because we haven't seen Dakusina quite active onto the tournament scene
mm.
as well as we did onto Zohunt. So at some point we didn't see that kind of that kind of performance display coming up from the side of Team Dakusina.
I think that was an understanding of their draft, as well as their understanding of their, the momentum, right? For the early game, they know that they're going to be having the greater time because with the change up in the Kadita, like I've already mentioned, the faster in rotation, the faster in movement, it's just always helping him. And the rotation wise also, I mean, there's no time for the Farsa to react most of the time, so they lose out so early. And if the Farsa doesn't have the free time just trying to charge out the feather airstrikes most of the time, then they're gonna be lacking a little bit of a damage, not just a little bit, a lot of damage. And I think it has to be some mistakes coming out from Johan as well. Actually, they were very confident in their damage, which they did not give out. And yeah, moreover, when the game was actually cooking for so long, the Herrick was actually the one who cooked.
Definitely. And Ash, we were discussing the fact that exps have gotten quite buffed. Like exp should be having the upper hand onto the game. It did have like Jazz onto the glue. He was quite annoying against Team Zohunt. And the glue, one thing about the glue, it was only fade in. The Farsa, it can burst glue out, but it completely depends upon the feathered airstrike. If that lands up, then yeah, glue will be losing his babies around, but the complete burst potential was not there. So I would say Zohunt, they decided to rely onto the utility, but in my
Yeah,
opinion, instead of the Garud, if they went out to the healer, then maybe they would have been able to sustain onto those team fights and the clutch plays would have been happening. But the problem was item magicians were way advanced compared to Team Dakusena because of the early game advantage they had.
You know what, Itami? I feel like EXP did play the role. That's the reason the match wins
yeah,
for 20 minutes. I mean, the Lapu Lapu and the Ruby was the one getting sustained as a wall. But what I feel, backliners, the damage dealers didn't done the work properly. I mean, I have more
mm,
expectations from Dusty Mizos Roger. He could have gone for the Harith, he could have gone for the Hayabusa, but he doesn't find the way to catch up their backliner. And that's the reason. But the glue, if you're gonna see the glue and Haya, they were getting their hand onto Fursa. Glue was already being on to the Gatotkacha. He was
mm,
always giving trauma to that Gatotkacha in whole match. So it's like, I mean, EXP meta going on, but you need to use it well. I mean, someone should be there who can give the damage.
yeah,
Otherwise, I mean, if everybody will be into the
mm,
sustain phase, then who will be the one carrying out the kills for you? I mean, the way they played, They have the Harith who was carrying the kills. Hayabusa was there marking upon again and again to the Farsa. As I said, Debbie said, we are feeling pity for that Farsa from the beginning.
Yeah, that's what.
Then what if, I mean, you can say a server is a thing. Maybe that's the reason they went for the utility jungler. Assassin was favoring on the way for Daaku Sena. But this time, let's see if the server is the real thing or Daaku Sena really have something.
Yep.
You know what? I think that, I mean, it has something to do with that too. But the thing is, the draft, right? If they were gonna have Farsa as the only damage dealer, if you do not count the Roser for the mid game, right? They could have put him into something that's more uncounterable, right? Because definitely Dakusena saw that the Farsa is gonna be the main damage dealer there, so they took the main source of counter for that Farsa and they totally shut her down. So which means that everything is gonna be onto Dakusena's hands. So this time maybe Johan needs to draft a little bit better.
Draft, I guess, like Debbie said, I guess draft as well as the comfort heroes can be one of the reasons Zohunt can go on to, like, they can go on onto this game number 2. I do agree that they are trying to adapt to the meta, but what is the point? Like, even if you are trying to adapt, what is the point that you just go out picking out the meta heroes and you are not able to, execute it quite well like you did with your comfort heroes before? Before onto the patch, we did see Zohan going out with the comfort picks. I do understand, the adjustments have been quite hefty, but the execution, that will be one of the points as well that will be mattering for the side of Team Zohan. Because Daaku Sena, as far as I remember, Zaz, like, he loves going out with the glue. So he is comfortable with the hero as well, and it worked out wonders. So Zohan this time, I guess they will be having the server advantage. So hopefully they will be pulling up a utility draft once again, maybe, or maybe they will be going out with the cover picks. Will be the main question.
Yes, and let's see how it goes for them because it's kind of, you can say that whenever I say comfort is better than meta, that's the reason Dakusena won the match. They went for the comfort rather than going for the meta. Zohan went for the meta, got some backlash in this match, but this time I don't think they will be getting any backlash. They will be coming back. They'll be giving a reverse sweep, maybe. They'll be giving us a God's plan that the third match, a third set in this BO3 series. Let's see how it goes. But before that, the banning list looking so awesome because it's Harith right now. Get
Yeah.
banned by Zohan. It's a respect for real. And a Baksha
Mm.
would be there, obviously, but Fedrin is also on respect to Dusty Mizo. But Lucas, you can say it's a respect as well. Kalea is a meta ban, so it's kind of meta plus respect going on from both the teams. Matilda will be taken out as well. Respect once again.
I think this, the Matilda was completely annoying for Johan though, because most of the time when they even try to get the CC onto the members of the Kusina, there's always the guiding wind that helps them save, that helps them get out of an awkward situation. This is very understandable though. But the Kusina sticking to their original choice of trying to ban out the utility jungles here, and I think I really, really like that. But funny Valentine, this guy is so good on heroes like the even the Moskov or the Granger as well. So he has a lot of choices on his pool. But the first pick coming out from Daaku Sena has to be the Badang, which hasn't been dead yet because of the crowd control that he provides as well as the flexibility that he has. So it's very understandable for Daaku Sena to go for it into the first part. But for Zohan though, what will they pick here? Is it gonna be the Lapu Lapu again, or maybe I hope they change up their draft?
One thing, once again, I would like to highlight is whether it is Team Dakusena or Zohan, they are going out with the first pick. That, like, first pick, they are prioritizing the fighters. So it was, I guess it was Win before who went out with the Lapu Lapu. It didn't work out for the side onto the first game. Lapu has got some major adjustments. He is back. It is safe to say that he is back onto the meta, but the composition of your team will be relying the most. Badang here, he is a flex pick. He can go out onto the room as well as onto the EXP. But okay, Zohan, they are experimenting out the Lapu Lapu once again. This time, Prime won't be going out with a fighter gold lane. Instead, he will be going out with one of his signature as well as the comfort picks, the Moskov.
I think we're gonna see a Irithel maybe, or maybe Granger coming up on from the side of Daaku Sena, but it's kind of, I mean, they are tilted towards the Trinity meta, but 1-1 will be a beautiful answer to this Moscow right now. But
Yeah.
maybe MM will not be picked up yet. It will be picked in the second phase.
Oh, it's the Irithel, man. Nice call. I like an Irithel, man, when against, especially against these long range heroes like the Moskov, and she have the possibility to bring any kind of spells, right? Even the sprint is a good choice for her, even the flicker, or even the flicker, it's fine, but he can even go for the purifies, no? So I think it's really, really good for them. But look at that, it's gonna be a signature pick for a family problem here. He's going for the Joe head into the first phase. I'm not sure, but comfort over meta.
Mastery over meta, maybe.
Yeah.
But okay, Zohan, they are trying to ban out the assassin jungler. That gave them a pretty hard time onto the early phases of the game. That was a high. It is quite understandable. And Daaku Sena, they are probably respecting out Faden's Valentina apparently. So they have decided to ban the Valen as well, considering the fact Zohunt is yet to pick out the mid lane, and they are just going out with the regular draft. And I believe,
Yeah.
there are still some flex picks remaining for either of the sides, but I do believe it might not be the case this time, because Jazz as well as Haitatsu, they have revealed their cards. This is going to be an EXP Badang followed by the Rome Kufra. So if an
Yeah.
assassin comes up, he will be having a bit tough of a time.
Mhm.
Let's see the last ban about to come, but it will be a
Oh.
Versa. That's a nice
Versa
one.
pick.
I mean, they don't want the Versa this time. It kind of reminds me that Zohan could have played well with the Versa. It just got again and again tracked down by that Hayabusa. Other than that, Versa did well in that match, even though he got some backlash. But right now,
Yeah.
what are your things on Dusty Mizo's picks, Debbie? What do you want him to pick? I mean, if you will say him to pick the moon, he will pick the moon for you.
What? What? Nah, man. I'm not sure. Hey, yo. The thing is, I'm quite not sure what
I got you, as I
what
got
the
you.
hero's gonna
Yeah.
be. Yo, nah. I think Faden has to secure it first here, because there's a chance that Daaku Sena will be picking a very good mate. That's literally I deadly wanted that. But there are a lot of options, but I'm not sure. Okay, it's gonna be a jungle. Oh, okay. That's a comfort, right? That's a comfort. So basically, Johan are sticking for the comfort, except for win onto the Lapu Lapu. Others are actually the old methods that we have seen, and they have been signing in this kind of composition too. And Prime is more, commendable onto the damage dealers, right? So I think it's a really, really good one. But they're gonna be needing a high card control marksman, though. I mean, mate, though. Oh, look at that!
Roger, this time onto the
Roger.
hands of Daaku Sena. So yeah, a Roger jungle once again, but let's see, will this Roger curse actually be, viable for the side of team Daaku Sena or not? Because it's just not today that it didn't work out. Faden, he decided for a moment, I thought the Valentina is back, but I just got reminded that it was the Vexana. So as Debbie was mentioning, they will be needing a crowd control, and a perfect answer will be a Vexana. But the problem is her positioning should be really good to the point that she doesn't get targeted by the Serena as well as the dive-in heroes like the Roger.
Itami, quick one. Kufra being there, Joy mobility will be hindered a lot. Do you think it's a good choice from me? I mean, Dusty?
Questionable, because I was kind of like, I already said that they might be going out with the assassin, but against a Kufra that is two of him, the ball, it is going to be really annoying, because she will be trying to go just initiate and dive in with those electrifying beats. But the Kufra, the crowd control is way too much. The CC will be there. So he might not be able to contribute as much as he is supposed to onto those team fights if Haitatsu pulls up the Kufra perfectly.
I think he might be actually able to, because not sometimes. I don't really like it, but I don't really like an assassin against a Badang because he cancels a lot of dashes, and most of the assassins are depending on dashes, especially the hero like a Joy. So yeah, it comes down to execution. Who's going to be coming out on top?
And with that, we are heading on to the land of dawn. Once again, I will be giving it back to the casters. So whether this will be the match point for the side of Team Daaku Sena or not, we will be finding out. Game 2, here we go.
Yeah, here we go for the game 2. Thank you, Ostami, for giving the throw. And here we are, Dusty Mizo taking off his jungle greaves on. And with that, we can say that, a great start for both these sides. They will be playing defensive, but no, Dusty. Daaku Sena will not give any chance to win this time. He will be starting a recall spam after getting half of his SP away from him.
Yeah, I think I mean most of the time I've seen winning out the lane, but look at his sector door. Ooh, first blood right there.
First blood being concluded this time from the Zohunt side. It was an easy first blood for them, we can say. He was not ready for it. Maybe he was not aware of it. Kufra was overextension, you can say. But in the meantime, Lapu Lapu is having a little bit of hardship in the EXP against a Badang.
Yeah, we haven't seen this kind of competition, right? Lapu Lapu against a Badang, and so definitely we're gonna be seeing the Badang winning against in lane. So win is not gonna be rotating as easy as possible. But with the triangle rotation made by this Joy here, but mid lane though.
Yeah, fight coming up. Abyssal Trap got trapped down that Joy. Roger will be the one. First blood for the side of Daaku Sena as well. 1-1 is the score. Turtle about to come.
And I think without the presence of the roamer for the side of Zohunt, I think Daaku Sena will have it right. The charts coming in. Dusty though.
Electrifying beats come up, but Roger will be slaying the turtle. Badang in the meantime will be finding his way onto the Joy. Lapu Lapu, instant redemption onto the Badang.
Oh, that was a good game coming up from Daaku Sena, and I think Zohunt could have held down a little bit. Just if he got the turtle right there, it could have been worth it. But it was a no for them for their side. So for Zohunt, I think they have to lay low quite a bit because this time around they are not really having the best time, and Daaku Sena are just schooling them with everything that they had because the early game, the first turtle is so important for Zohunt, and they are not able to take it. So this is something that they have to be mindful of. But look at the jump though.
In the meantime, we can see at a very bad position, Eternal Guardian popped out. Roger right now finding his way onto the Vexana will be caught off guard, but will not be okay. He will be get out from the map as well, sending him to the heaven. Lapu Lapu, GG rotation, you can say.
That was a fast one rotation, and that a beautiful dodge at that one too. And I think this time around, onto the mid side of Zohunt though. Look at that, Ejector.
Ejector come up, and it will be the Kufra getting down at this point. 4-man of Zohunt claiming the kill onto the Kufra. Abyssal Trap and arrow connected over the Joy and Jaw. Both of the J will be taken out from the map. Easy, bro, easy from Daaku Sena. They literally come up with this. But did you saw that, Debbie? Roger just dived around to 2 people. Was not aware of that Lapu Lapu being into the bush.
That was so good. A little bit of a funny conservation as well. But Faden though?
Oh my goodness. This is something, I can say this was a emotionally you can say backlash for that Vexana. She was not aware. 4-man being trapping her out inside the turret, getting the kills. Dominance right now. Fish crack come up. Lapu Lapu is in a very bad position, diving onto 3-man. In the meantime, we can see a 1v1. Irithel falling down. Lapu Lapu still managing into the way. Will be finding his way to the kill onto that Badang in the process. 2-man right now, capturing onto the Lapu Lapu. He will be fine. Win Mizo will be going back. Oh my goodness. There was a beautiful, beautiful save, you can say, getting the kill, getting away from 2-man. There you are.
Yeah, I think this Lapu is just trying to sign this time around because in the first game he was completely shut down quite a lot, and the rotation that he's been making is so perfectly on point. And look at him already getting into the top lane too. This is definitely going to be a game for Zohunt this time around. They got the second turtle as well, so this is definitely a great start for them. And maybe they're just trying to finally find their footing. So the problem that they had was they wanted their XP laner to sign, and when they have that momentum going on, they are also falling for that. But we might pause down a little bit because there has to be something of a
pause. I mean, of a internet connection problem for the side of both of the teams. Either of the teams will never know. We always try to provide the best for those players. If you are lagging, we are not gonna be continuing. We are just gonna be pausing for just a few minutes so as to have better internet connection as well, and it's gonna be a fair and square game. So yeah,
Yeah,
who was
technical issue.
doing better?
That means
Huh?
technical issue. That means we know who is back. Is Hostami.
Thank you for the welcome, Ash. And yeah, the game is kind of going equal this time. And I guess Zohunt, they are relying onto their comfort. The reliance onto their comfort picks is kind of going to be working out. But Daaku Sena, even if I guess it is safe to say that they are kind of prepared going up against the like the power team Zohan possess, and I guess by far Daaku Sena, they are doing quite brilliant onto this best of 3 series. I don't know what will be the result onto the game number 2 at the end of the game 2, but looking at the game, it is going out quite equal. So Daaku Sena, I would say I'm not kind of glazing them. I love Zohunt as well, but brilliant performance by far.
Yeah,
I can say that Win will be playing a great role in this match. I mean, Debbie, you saw that in just first
yeah,
4 minutes. He's omnipresent. He's everywhere. His rotation is too good. His first rotation is too good. You can say, I mean, he is there in the mid lane fighting onto two people. Then after 2 seconds, you see him on the top getting a turret. And again, we are here. Cam on to the me Win. That is, he's the X factor of this match. Obviously, the cam will be onto him.
yeah. He's getting all the spotlight that he needed because this is an XP laner meta, and this XP is going to be definitely signing. And I think even Jazz want to have have a camp time of his own because he's just trying to make plays onto the top lane. Though he's just trying to rotate as fast as possible, just trying to get the security onto this turret as well. So this time around, Zohan might try to focus onto this bot lane here, but they have to send someone up to clear out the top lane though. So this definitely has to be the Steamy Joe because this is a fast clearing mage. I mean, not just mage, an assassin as well. But if we look at the map though, there's a little bit of a slow pace moving in for one of these teams. Already the starting side for the Selena, just trying to go for the extra basic attacks and the true damage too. And we cannot forget this is a tough boots into the hands of Fate, and he just tried to survive that concealed play though.
Okay, Jector about to come, but will not be enough to get down that Selena at this point. He will be fine. In the meantime, managed to get down the tier 3 in the bot. That's a good trade right now for team Daaku Sena in the second set. I mean, this is their match point. They can easily play this set without any tension. But in the meantime, Joy is having a little bit of, squishiness, you can say. That's why he's melted down again and again by the Jector once again. This time inside the tower, Patang will be taken down. Eternal Guardian popped up, and in this time, Vexana managed to get the kills. Okay, sorry, Eternal Guardian was not there. Moscow, in the meantime, managed to get the kill onto the Selena. Free turtle for the side off.
That was an info, right? That Yamraz did not have the flicker, so it was a green light for Prime to go in and get a kill. But look at there we go.
Ooh, Roger into the match. We're getting a man down. It will be Jawhead. Electrifying bits come off inside, and Rizal will be getting down. In the meantime, mega kill for the Lapu Lapu. Dusty Mito will be fine. Killing spree coming off for the Moscow. 3-man down with the turtle being on. Trade right now into the hand. But only one man was down in the process. It was Jawhead.
That was such a good one at that, and room for three important kills for Daaku Sena. This is definitely Zohan's playtime right now. As we can see, the builds are already up, and I think Dusty is definitely gonna go for the Holy Crystal. And if he gets that damage, it's gonna be too much. And when he dive into that backlines as well, they will have to be needing the Winter Crown to try to survive at that as well. But yeah, nothing too much of a fancy for the build as well, because this is the natural build that we have seen so far. But the Roger though, I think he's going for the endless battle and no warrants, right? So you just want to have the true damage as well as the.
I mean, look at that. 5981 on Moscow, 5986 on Joy, 6135 on Lapu Lapu. This is why I told he's the X factor of this match. Kufra, Tyrus Rage, come up, Eternal Guardian into the time. Kufra will be taken down easily. This time, once again, we're gonna see Win going on and diving onto the 3 members of Daaku Sena. No, backing down at this point. Hino dismantling himself will be a good choice at this point. Doesn't want to throw some gold onto Daaku Sena. They are in a safer place at this moment.
I think that was a good decision for them, but oh, that was a good stun. But no, that's the worst members that are going to be stunning on. So I think this time around, Zohunt are getting back all the goal leads that they have. Look at that. They have they have gained back all the momentum right now, and they're just trying to push down all the structures already. Just all the inhibitors left behind for the side of Daaku Sena, and the Lord will be up in just like 3 seconds. And I think Zohunt have the potential to go for it, to go for this directly, because their level gap is too much for the jungle to try to continue again. So this time around, Zohunt, I think their momentum is back at it. Their chemistry is there, but look at the stun though.
Yeah, it was not needed, but look at that. Win coming up. This time, overextension. No. Eternal Guardian come up. Take a kill for the Moscow. SOD connected. Unstoppable for the win. I thought Win will be taken down in the process, but no, he is fine. Joy managed to get down. The Kufra 3-man down. Blazing Bin up at a sliver of HP. Win will be fine. Going back to the base. Getting his HP back. Blazing's off. Lord coming. I mean, this is not a great news for Daaku Sena.
Yeah, and even if the lead part of the games goes, I think Prime stun.
Yeah, Prime got stunned at this point, but will not be enough to take him down. But that escape from Win, when 3-man was there, I thought he will be getting down at that point. I mean, he was at an inch of HP. He managed to get back at that scene. So, I mean, okay, it's his day. This
It's his
match
day.
is over.
It's his day, man. He's able to survive that. And even going for the flicker instead of the purify just shows the confidence that we have. But the Lord marching in, look at that.
Yo, ejector onto Dusty Mizo, no? Thelmal managed to get down that jawhead, and in the meantime, Lapu Lapu dive into the base. This time, turret damage will be taking him out. Shut down for the Lapu Lapu at last. 516 will be the KDA now. It was 506 before. Oh my goodness, Kupra was raging onto that Moscow. Moscow will be fine, getting back into a safer zone. But easy defend, but I don't think comeback can be expected at this point.
That's a little bit of a longer, perfect security on the defense as well, and I think it is maybe a regaining part for side of Daaku Sena here again, because all they need is for Funny Valentine to step up, and he's got the Purify as well, and if he does have the Wind of Nature too, he might be able to survive any kind of onslaught coming out from him as well. But the problem is that Zohunt, they do have a way to try to push out onto the lanes, because they have a Moscow who can just join in any kind of team fights with the HODs, and I think most of the time Prime does not miss the SOD, so this is something we have to be careful for Daaku Sena as well. So they are just shoved into their base. They are just being put into a position where they couldn't even come out. Look at that, almost for full build for Prime here. Meanwhile, for Funny Valentine, he's going to be needing at least one more item to try to survive any kind of damages coming through onto him as well. And I think he's just going to be needing the Wind of Nature. But the problem is there's also a Joy, so he have a lot of space to try to opt for some builds that he's going to be needing. But the thing is, they are so behind onto the goal, so definitely they have to wait a little bit longer.
I mean, the only one who can give them a comeback is Funny Valentine. He's the only one we can expect Daaku Sena can rely on in this match, so that they can win this match and finish it up with a 2-0 score. But Lord is up right now. I don't think they will be contesting it, because look at the positioning. River being controlled already from the side of Zohunt. And in the meantime, we can see Moscow and the Co are already started the Lord dance. It's already on. And in the meantime, got into the hand of Win. Win will be fine at a sliver of HP. Moscow is solely connected. Roger being down at this point. Irithel into the mark. And oh my goodness, shut down. It will be a visual trap connecting onto the Moscow. Eternal Guardian popped up. Badang in the scene. Ejector come up. It will be Joy killing spree onto the Badang. Kufra and the Co will be backing down at this point. But you can say, I mean, Prime as well as Roger, both are down at this moment. I don't think. Yeah.
No, it's important, right, to try to get the. Oh, look at that! Is that girl?
Yup, again comes Irithel into the action. Vexana deleted down at this point. At a sliver of HP, can Kufra comes up? Oh no, it's a mega kill for Joy. He managed to find the way towards the kill of the Kufra. And but Irithel, I thought Irithel will be the one getting down that Joy at this moment. Joy's mobility cannot be checked on. He'll be the one right now going, but the abyssal trap is kind of a thing which just slowed her down.
I think the position of Yamrat is actually very commendable because he's just trying to throw arrows from all over the places, which Johan will not be expecting. And the main arrow that he threw onto the Prime Mizo was the perfect one at that because they were able to get a kill on him. And this time around, he's gonna be so annoying because he got the Whistling Lantern as well. And when he got the Whistling Lantern, he's gonna be dealing extra damage. He's gonna be flying in, and look at that. We can see he has forced the family problem to recall, and they're going to be delaying the Lord just a little bit. And looking at the position of Daz as well, this Badam has been such a stopper for the side of Johan whenever they are trying to look for sets, especially when he's being shut down, he's being knocked into position by the wall that Badang is always building up, and this is something Johan needs to check on. So this time around, when this law is not evolved yet, but it's going to be very, very important. Whoever gets this law is going to be having their goal lead back. But look at SOD though, he's just spotting out 2 important members for the side of Daaku Sena.
Yeah, good zone. And oh my goodness, fish crack come up into the left side. Lapu diving into in. And it will be a Tunnel Guardian popped up. Roger being down. Double kill for the Vexana onto the Kufra. 2 men already down. Roger being not there. Moscow will be the one getting the Lord for himself. But Dang down at place. 3 man already gone. Only 2 being there. I don't think they can save it up for themselves. Defend it down. But the lane pressure did work a good way for Zohunt, you can say.
Yeah, they can definitely try to end this. Look at the damage coming through. Oh, Prime though, they're able to get a kill. But maybe, just maybe, Prime just focusing onto the base.
Yup. Look at that. Moscow will be finding his way onto that Selena. Win will be the one claiming the base right now. Crystal being up and the God's plan being on. Will be going on to the 3rd set. That's what we need. Everybody needs here. A victory for Zohunt. Tiebreaker round will be here soon. Debbie, what do you think? Who will be taking on the series?
I think it depends on the draft, man, at this point, because look at them. Even Daaku Sena has been playing quite well at that, and you know what? Whoever gets the roster loses. So I think Itami will know, man. I can't even predict at this point.
Roger curse is real, guys. That's all I gotta say. Okay, anyways. Zohunt, yeah, they came up with the comeback that they were expecting. I guess it was a better decision for their side that they went out with the comfort picks, and it worked out for the side for this game. So they had the server advantage as well. But Ash, as well as me, we were kind of doubting that against a Kufra, the Joy could actually quite suffer, but it didn't. The Haitatsu, he didn't quite was not able to, what do you call it? He was not able to engage that much initiations onto Dusty Mizo. The electrifying beats, they baited out the Kufra skill set first, and that is when Dusty Mizo went in. So that was a good call coming up from the side of Team Zohunt, and against a crowd control roamer like that, I guess that was a good decision. And the prize they got the game number 2 for the side, and it will be extending to a game number 3 onto this Swiss rounds.
I mean, toss will be there right now, and we will win the toss. We'll be taking the server. As I said before, that server will play a big role in this match because it's what it is. I mean, if you have a good MS, you'll go for Assassin Jungle. If you don't have a good MS, you'll go for a utility. But 2 times, Roger being picked up as the utility, and as Itami said, curse being on. So it's kind of a curse. So let's see if Roger curse will be there, or we're gonna see something else. I mean, Xbox open all this time. We could have gone for that, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Borg actually could have been a good answer. And Ash, this what do you call it? This story is kind of related to me as well as Roger. What happened was back a year back, let's say, Roger was onto the MSC scene. Like, he was back onto the meta. He could have been prioritized onto the jungle as well as onto the go lane, like he is being right now. So what happened was, I went onto my rank and I decided to spam Roger. I went 10 games, And out of that, I only won one. So I had 10% win rate with Roger. So I don't have a good experience with him. But I am me and they are them. They have tournament experience. So I'm, what do you call it? I just play rank, guys. Tournament is not for me. I just do casting. But anyways, game 3 will be something worth to watch because it is a 1-1 point, and Zohunt will be trying their best to claim a victory onto here. Because same with Team Daaku Sena, these are the teams they have faced defeat before onto the Swiss rounds. Zohunt, I guess it was against Team Tartarus, so it is quite acceptable. But they will be trying to come back onto the Swiss rounds, and Daaku Sena, by far, even if they lose out the game number 2, they are putting up quite some competition against them. But the discipline coming up from the side of Team Zohunt onto the game number 2, they are proving why they have a spot onto that mythical leaderboard.
Yeah, that has to be. And I think Daaku Sena are just playing quite more than well than we expected. So I think they have what it takes to try to win against Johan as well. But it's just too dependent on the draw, right? These two teams, they are just a very hot and cold. Like when they have their possible comfort for Johan, they were actually winning. But if they are more onto the experimental side, I don't think they will be able to win. So this is a very deciding game. So they have to use whatever their comfort is going to be and just try to get as much of a comfort hero onto the side as possible. So this has to be something that Daaku Sena will also be mindful of. And again, these two teams are very, very flexible onto their pick as well. So even into the draft, right, they are not really changing out their draft as well. So I think this time around, even Daaku Sena might actually ban out those utilities too.
2 times we have already seen that Fedrin, Baksha being banned. So maybe anytime if you see these two teams fighting, they'll be banning the respects every time. But it's a kind of a question that I thought Irithel would have been a greater choice in that match. He could have turned the table, but at the moment I felt like that Lord fight was unnecessary. You could have
Yeah.
wait for them to take on that fight. So maybe a little bit of discipline, what Itami told Zohunt have. Therefore, they won the match, and
Um,
Dakusela just got away from it, and they got a defeat in that way. But right now, Harith will be the first ban. I mean, that's the fear.
yeah.
Heretophobia maybe. But anyways, the Zaman Force as well as his mobility plays a vital role onto that team, which is quite understandable considering the fact it was picked out from the side of Team Rakusena onto the game number 1. And Funny Valentine was the MVP, as well as he was one of the most crucial damage dealers for the side of Team Rakusena with that Harith. So acceptable. And apparently they are banning out the heroes that have been picked onto the game number 1, that is the Matilda as well. So, Ash, on my wildest guess, maybe Dakusena still has the server advantage onto here. So they are banning out the heroes that gave them the trouble onto the first game. And Zohunt, the question is, Zohunt, will they go out with the comfort once again? Or maybe they will be trying to adapt to the meta, but this time with a strategy.
Maybe with the strategy you said, but what if they go for the Roger again? I mean, whoever's
Oh,
staying in the
Oh
first
no.
pick side, they're picking up the Roger for themselves, and the assassin will be in front of you. You couldn't be able to get him down anytime because they got the mobility. Roger doesn't have that much. Chasing with the lick and pound is another thing, but not much when you're fighting against a Joy or a Hayabusa. They can easily outplay you. So they can go for it, but Hayabusa will be banned. That means Joy could be an possible option for Zohunt again.
yeah, it's highly likely, right, to go for the Joy too. But most of the time from Johan, I think they always ban out the Hayabusa, and one time they let go of the Hayabusa. The first is in having the best time of his life. So I think always looking at the Hayabusa has to be the only option for Johan. And I really like that Dakusina are definitely sticking to their original plan, just ban away the Fredrin and the Lucas, or even maybe the Boxer, because this time around they are onto the red side. And I don't think they will be changing up any of their bans anytime soon. So Johan might even still go for the Lapu Lapu again. But they have the first pick, so do you really want to go for the Lapu first pick again or change it up?
Okay, Lapu first pick can actually be a good choice for the side of because they prioritize. Oh, never mind. We completely forgot about the Bakshia. It was banned out onto the previous two games, but this time it is open. So it's understandable why they picked out the Bakshia. This is one of the heroes that has been quite a highlight onto that previous patch, and onto this patch he hasn't got any adjustments. So it is safe to say that he still works whether he is onto the roam or maybe onto the jungle.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I mean, I was also thinking when Debbie was saying about the last ban, I was thinking a Kalea or a Bakshia, what they will go for.
Yeah.
Went for that Kalea. Bakshia was open at that moment. So it's a good choice from Johan. They went for the Bakshia, but it's a EXP roam or jungle. Bakshia is a question right
Yeah.
now. I think it should be in the roam. It will be an easy one for them. Lapu Lapu to the EXP and the jungle assassin jungler onto the jungle way will be helping them a lot.
Oh, but the Rafaela, we have completely forgotten the new change that revamped Rafaela coming into play this time around for the hands of Daaku Sena again, and I really, really like this because when the late part of this game goes, when you try to pick up someone, and she's gonna be resurrecting them anytime they want. So this is such a good hero and broken one, and so even the cooldown is not gonna be enough to nerf how to the ground, but the Jazz already picking up the Lapu Lapu this time around. They did not really want to give it away into the hands of Win again. So the options are still available though for Johan. They can still flex the Baxia, but what will they be picking here this time around? Gold lane? Ooh, a Badang and a comfort for Mr. Prime here again.
They are going out with the comfort picks apparently, and Dusty. Yeah, I guess it will be Dusty onto the jungle, or maybe the roam Baksha will also be coming up. But considering the fact they like the utility jungle, like they prioritize more utility junglers compared to the assassins, I guess
Yeah.
Bakshia can actually work out. But going up against that Bakshia, Xborg can actually be a good answer, and that is apparently an Xborg jungle because the Lapu Lapu has already been picked out. So the rules, it is quite fixed. And Zohunt as well as Daaku Sena, they are proceeding with the bans. Both of the heroes will be requiring those mid lane.
Ooh.
So they are banning out the mid as well as Daaku Sena, they are banning out the jungle too because being unsure of the fact that the Bakshia is there. So it is still vacant that where this Bakshia is gonna go, whether onto the room or onto the jungle.
Jungle. Jukshin ban,
All right.
jungle, Bakshia. Damn sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it will be a hectic thing for the Basha to play against a Jushin. Or maybe it can go for the Rome as well. I'm not, I mean, astrologer to say that it will be in the jungle. It will be in the jungle. But what if Debbie will say Dusty play Bakshia jungle? He gonna
What?
he gonna
I
do
don't
that.
hold I don't hold any control over the players, man. But like, man, you should stop, man. Less easy, bro. We just got back in the deck and he's bullying me. What? Look at that dog. A
Oh.
funny pick from Funny Valentine. It's gonna be one of the comfort that he. I mean, I've seen him on this hero way back,
Mhm.
but it wasn't. It hasn't been popping quite a lot. The Nathan this time around, he have the scaling, he have the frontline potential as well. So he's just gonna be trying to scale along with Prime because into the previous game he wasn't able to scale as much as Prime did onto the Moskov against the Edicel. So this time around they want the late game security for themselves as well. But look at
Ooh.
that power picks. The
Oh.
dragon arriving in the land of Dawn, man.
You know, Yuzhong has always been one of my favorite picks on screen. I love that hero, and
Yeah.
getting him back onto the scene, like onto the tournament scene, is something I was looking up forward to as well. And going up against a Lapu Lapu, it is a classic kind of a matchup onto the EXP, to be honest. Lapu Lapu against that Yuzhong. So this battle will be legendary. But okay, Daaku Sena, they have completed the draft. It kind of looks similar to the previous draft, the first game draft. The only similar thing here is the Kadita. The rest
Yeah.
of them, it is like completely different. Meanwhile, for the side of
We
Team
can't say
Zohan,
different.
they are
Wait,
going
we
out.
can't say
Yeah.
different because rather than for a Matilda, there is a Rafaela.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that time they went for a Hayabusa, so this time they were with the Xbox. Had it been changed with a Nathan, so I mean it's a pretty same draft as you're saying.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, both music damage dealer, right?
Yep. Anyways, this will be the decider for this series, best of three series. Zohunt against Team Daaku Sena. The final game, game number 3. So here we go on to the land of dawn. Debbie and Ash, take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hope Itami, for giving that throw. And here we are, Kashi versus Dusty Mizo, Xbox versus Bakshia. Oh, Yamraj was about to get down at that point, but managed to flew away. This is the aggression being shown at this point. Kimi being on right now, about to take his first blood. Flicker come up. Will be fine at this point. Rafaela was about to down.
That was a perfect bait onto the flicker as well. And look at that perfect skin into the hands of Haitatsu too. This nurse skin is, limited, so make use of it. But yeah, this was a good rotation coming out as well. And the mid lane this time around is not the Farsa, but Stando. What a good damage coming out from Family Problem, able to win out onto this mid lane, because this is what Kimi provides, right? The mid lane security, the mid lane aggression, as well as the zoning potential coming out from him as well. So this time around, they're going to be absolutely winning onto this mid side. So rotation is definitely going to be faster. But the problem is, I do not really know if Prime is going to be having a great time against Funny Valentine, because this is a Nathan versus Bigger though.
Flicker come up, a lot of damage. Kimi right now hunting down that Rafaela at this point. Rafaela will be not fine at this position. Moskov come in, and it will be a first blood for the Prime. Easy start for them. Xbox being there. Last Insanity come up. Will not be catching up Prime at this moment. Armor got out, and Xbox will be caught off guard at this point. Moscow will be claiming second kill. Ali Snowball, he is having that thing right now. This is a bad thing for the side of Daaku Sena. But you know what, Debbie? In the late game, Xbox will have 4 lives. With the immortality, natural life, armor life, and respawn from Rafaela. So that could have been a, hectic thing for Zohunt, you can say.
Yeah, definitely. But that's a Petrify being wasted. Engage.
Not needed at that moment. Fish crack will be there. Kimi will be the one getting Sony connected onto the Rafaela. I don't think Moscow will engaging at this moment, but the turtle being easily getting into the way. Last Insanity come up. Baxia will be the one retreat. Will be perfectly claiming that turtle for Zohunt, but armor being off. Again, Kimi will be the one. Xbox getting down. Recall spamming already started. They know they got the snowball into the hand in this do or die set. So it is what it is.
It is what it is, because into the mid side as well, the fast rotation coming out from Funny Valentine as well, trying to go do the double rotation. But when Johan, there's kind of a myth that since already said when Johan gets the first turtle, they usually win the games, but we'll never know, because Daaku Sena has been popping quite a lot. Even if they lose out into the early game, they might have a way to try to have a comeback, because they have burst potential from the Kadita as well. But look at that Prime though. Not Prime though, but it was Family Problem into the mid sizes, trying to give out and all sorts of reason. But onto the XP lane, the Lapu Lapu always wins against the user.
Yeah, he is doing great, but is the fact of matter is Moscow got some early feet into his side, and even the Kimi as well. Again, a fish crack come up on the Nathan. Nathan will be fine. He got the ult as well, so I don't think engaging onto him will be a good choice for team Daaku Sena at this moment. But look at that, Bakshia coming up again. Dusty Mizo into the map. Will be finding his way onto the Kadita. Kadita will find a defensive startup again, because they're waiting for the turtle. Perfect moment to again getting those skills into their hand. Let's see who'll be having the turtle.
Yeah, the turtle is going to be spawning to the bot lane though, but the position coming up from Zohunt, they are trying to look for a pickup just before the start of the turtle here, so a bit of escorting out onto the boosters right now, so definitely something that they need information on. So they have they have seen Rafaela into the top lane, so this time around they might be engaged though.
Yo, Xbox comes with the last Insanity. Was not needed. Armor being off is a bad thing for him. Turtle on, armor off. Not a good thing. Zaz being there, maybe can come off, dive in onto the 4 members, can give some stall time, but no stalling here. Easy turtle for the Baksha. And in the meantime, we can see Xborg come back into the match, but we're not having those flaw for him. That's a good, not a good thing for him as well.
Yeah, this is not really a good start like the Kadita had into the first game that we have seen so far. This time now, he's not having the best time because one dead down on the Kadita is something that you really wanna do. And I wanna see if he does go for the Genius one first, or if he's gonna be opting for the glowing one, because we'll never know. The anti-heal is gonna be very, very absolutely necessary too. And even the Natan, right? He's gonna be needing at least 4 items to be able to hit the power spike. So early game is absolutely gonna have to be a little bit given away into the hands of Zohunt by Daaku Sena, and they need to try to scale out as long as possible. So maybe that has to be also the reason why they do not easily go for the contest of those turtles. But then the problem also lies that Zohunt also have a late game security into the hands of Prime here until the Moscow, so that's something they have to be really, really, really mindful of too.
Yeah, and look at, I mean, you know what? At this point, they are playing defensive. They know that throwing
Yeah.
some ball will not be helping them a lot. And here we are. Daaku Sena doesn't have that much damage. And in the meantime, killing spree for the Moscow. Rafaela will be deleted down. Kimi in the meantime with the first kill for the Daaku Sena side. And in the meantime, shut down. Zaz will be there. Double kill onto the Moscow. Maybe you're going to see a triple kill from him. Sliver of HP. Will it be the Basha getting down that Kufra? I mean, getting down that Lapu Lapu here or not? Let's see. No, he'll not be able to do that. It was not, it was out of the blue that Lapu Lapu literally went aggressive. Fish crack coming up. Sliver of HP. Kadida managed to get back. Nathan will be the one this time to get down that Badang. Slowly, steadily, you can say. Daaku Sena coming back.
Yeah, that was a good one for a good gain for Daaku Sena. This is the most important kills that they have onto the DPS on the side of Johan. And I think, rotation wise, I do really think that they do know that the Xbox is not going to be as useful as the Lapu Lapu, so they actually set the Lapu on top lane for the gangs. But maybe there might be a set onto Zaz though, but they're not going to be actually doing something here. But this turtle, I think they'll be able to contest it.
Ooh, look at that Badang in a very bad position and will be taken down as well. And as you said, contesting one for this turtle. Let's see the retreat will work or not. No, it will not work. Basha will be the one. Dusty Mizo claiming the turtle into slide. Black Dragon emerges at this moment. Fight is clear on. And we can see they are going back. They doesn't want to take any fight up for themselves. I mean,
Yeah, actually.
I missed the fun.
It was actually funny fight, but Jazz though in trouble.
Yup, and Zaz will be taken down after all the skirmish he does between that team fight. He was the one who make that rage upon Zohan, that comeback you can say, possible comeback. But right now we can see the Kimi is melting down, armorless Xbox, and Fish Crack will be there as well. Right, Piercer, boom, Xbox will be going back into the heaven. But in the meantime, Nathan in a very bad positioning. Baksha is right now chasing him down. From the backline, we can see Yuzhong come up inside the turret. Kimi will be the ones again. Faden getting the kill into his hands. Sky Piercer stack going into the 30. And in the meantime, we can see Moscow coming into. SOD will be messed down. Rafaela will be fine, getting some kill into her. But in the turret, they're going inside the turret. Rafaela will be taken down easily at this moment. You can say 9-4 is the score, but Zohunt is kind of taking this match onto their side.
Yeah, definitely here, but another one though.
Once again, that will be the Kadita getting down, stun. I mean, various way to stun down that Kadita. It will be the Badang as well as the Moscow Spear of Misery. Both of the thing just claiming that kill. This is why, I mean, I hate a Moscow for real. It's a comfort pick. Destroying the turret. Lapu Lapu. Zaz being there. Sliver of HP. Picker come out for the Badang. Will be fine enough to get back into the safe position. Yuzhong being in the turret will be maintaining his momentum to get down that kill onto Nathan. In the meantime, Xbox managed to get down that Yuzhong as well. Adita Petri come up. Shut down for the Kimi at last.
That was the one important kill that they needed onto the Kimi, and they will be heading directly onto the turtle right now. But look at his head though.
Fight. Brawl server going on once again. Armor being on. And it will be the last insanity coming up right now. But Danga, the Slaver of HP will be taken on. Boom, bam. It will be Bakshi as well at the Slaver of HP. Dusty Mizo being there. Moscow into the action. Prime showing his primeness. Will be taking down the Xbox. 1-for-1 trade right now. We'll be going for this tier 3 on the mid. But Lord being up. I think you should have went for the Lord.
Yeah, I think Zohunt are just stopping the Lord to be taken, but actually, it was a bad call for Family Problem to try to look for the statue when there is no stun here. But look at that!
Ooh, the damage! Look at the Moscow's damage.
Wow.
Is attack speed or crit bill? Well, it is. He's just melting down that Nathan at this moment. And the moment we can see that Laz in a very bad positioning. Moscow with Sony connecting onto the Rapela. It will be Kimi getting down that Lapu. They will be claiming the Lord. Xbox coming back, but the retreat is not good for him in this match. You can say he doesn't got the turtle. Yuzong diving onto that Kadita in a very bad position. Rapela will be the one giving a spike to that Kadita to get back into the safer zone. Yuzong right now being onto the mark of Xbox. Xbox getting back down, but Lord Dance already started. Bakshia will be going on to the Xbox. Armor still on. Armor will be off right now. Moscow being there, dealing a lot of damage onto that Xbox. And let's see who will be taking the Lord. Moscow come back for the Lord at this moment. 4-man fighting onto the 3-man member of Zohunt. But Lord will be easily claimed down by Yuzong at this moment. And you can say they stalled them well. And look at that. Zaz come up with a dive on the Kimi. Kimi will be taken down. And in the meantime, we can see Moscow come back. It will be the fish crack. Nathan will be managing to take down that Badang as well. In Blast Insanity come up, but will not be enough. Yuzong with the dragon form going against that Nathan. He will be cut off guard. Xbox being down. Okay, Nathan being up with the help of the Rafaela being there, speeding up his movements. That's a good one.
Wow, that was a hell long of a team fight that we are seeing right now. A lot of gain for Daaku Sena as well, but the Lord is gonna be for the side of Zohunt. But then again, that's
once again the fight being up. This time, Slaver of HP, Baksha will be taken down, and we can see the Moscow will not be there. Double kill for that Nathan. He is right now melting down. Funny Valentine is back. I mean, it will be a legendary way to see Funny Valentine going 1v1 with this attack speed Moscow. He's an attack speed.
And it's gonna be amazing. Yeah, he's also attack speed, but the basic damage. And he's, the problem for him is that he can also easily buy the Wind of Nature and able to survive. And Moscow cannot really do that. But unstoppable.
Did you saw that? What just happened? Is Sony connected onto Kadita. Kadita melted down by that Moscow. Easy kill for that Prime. Obviously, I mean, it will be. I told you, it will be legendary if that Nathan and Moscow will be fighting a 1v1. I want to see who will take on the game for themselves. But right now, 1v1 is not more important that much because they need to go for a 5v5 more. And Kadita is falling down because we all know Kadita is a single base target hero. It will not helping a lot in the team fight. That's the thing. But Kadita need to make sure that she should take down the Moscow. He's not in the rose gold as well.
Yeah. He did buy the rose gold, but he did sell it out at one point again. But still, okay, there we go. He bought the full one. And that's so it's gonna be really absolutely necessary because he's gonna be trying to survive the damage coming through from the Natan as well as the Kadita. So that's a core item for him as well. But Yamrat's still caught. Ooh, what?
Oh my goodness, what was that? That was nasty for Yamraj. He got down easily. And last insanity come off. Yuzong diving into with the Black Dragon form. Armor come off. He will be back down. We're not taking any fight at this moment, but it's 20 seconds for the Lord. Need to stall back. Okay, look at that. The Zaz wants to take on a fight, but Dang being there, stalling the way. Sori will not be connecting this time, so they need to dismantle themselves.
It's gonna be so important for the side of Zohunt to try to secure this Lord again because I think the Natan is already scaling up. He's got the fourth build already in his hand, and maybe if the fifth build comes in through, it's gonna be melting all the frontliners for the side of Zohunt, and they do not want to have that going on for them. They do not want to take the hard way. But the problem is Daaku Sena is also pretty trying to march down and just trying to deny the Lord as well because they know the game plans for the side of Zohunt too. But look at that, Vaden getting the Holy Crystal is going to be hurting a lot. And two scaling his heroes onto their side, they might want to go for a fight before the start of this Lord. But look at the bot lane though. Perfect combination of these two, Roamer and the gold lane, just trying to split good.
Yeah, I mean, Yamraj is not doing well in this match, so it's kind of, they must be thinking why, other than Kadita, they could have gone for something else, but it's a matter of time. It can be changed. They can be come back in this match as soon as possible because it's a 15 minutes game already. Maybe it can go for like the first one, 20 minutes. But don't forget, Yamraj was the one who was playing well in the first match, marking down that first sub. But this time, he couldn't got that thing onto Kimi because of the Purify maybe, and also Moscow having the Purify. They were pretty aware of Yamraj Petri, so they went for those Purifies. And they're right now having the fun in this match, Kimi as well as Moscow. But look at that, zoning out the situation. Dusty Mizo will be looking after those. I mean, it's like that song, Kumar, 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 number one bucks.
That's what we were saying, but this time around he's not the one dying, right? But a little bit of a miss onto the wall as well, but Jazz. He's looking for something here. He bought the blade armor to try to survive Prime. I think that's a good choice, but stun.
Stun coming off, Xborg at a very bad position, armor being cut off. And it will be Yuzhong going against that Phelan. But at the meantime, Nathan's damage will be taking out Yuzhong. Kadita managed to get down Batan. Bakshay will be taking down double kill. A comeback, a possible comeback. Triple kill for the Nathan. It's a triple for Nathan. Maniac about to come. Let's see what will happen. Recall spamming already started. It's only Prime being there. Will he manage to defend it down? Let's see what happens. Nathan going on to the Prime. Prime and a sliver of will be taken down. It's a shutdown for Prime. Godlike, unofficial Maniac coming back into the match. Clinching upon the base. Daaku Sena will be the one who will be making sure that they will be taking on the series with a 2-1. That was unexpected. That was really unexpected. Unbelievable performance. In the end, we saw a comeback. I was not expecting this. I was expecting the Moscow to get onto the game, but 1v1 ends with Funny Valentine being the one, getting the MVP, getting the match. Prime should have been thinking what goes wrong for him. I mean,
and this is what I was saying when the late game is accumulating for so long. The Nathan is gonna be building up, and the Holy Crystal is the green light, as green as it can be for them to dive in. The melting down is coming. Oh my god, I'm actually speechless, Itami. Oh my god, your Zopat is lost.
I mean, you know what, Debbie? Kumar, that song I just said, and it went like Yuzhong was the one. He is the one that number one Baxia here because he went for that dive in onto Rakola and got down. Then the Nathan got into that Baxia. Then we saw that Kadita getting a kill, and then a triple kill, and then an unofficial Maniac, a godlike onto the Moscow. I mean, he must be thinking win in this match that you shouldn't have went for that thing. You should have went for the Lord instead.
Oh my god, yeah. I think he's trying to get a little bit of pickup, right? That wasn't good, man.
Itami, are you here? Or did you saw what just happened?
Did I? Like, just when we thought that Zohunt was trying the Daaku Sena completely deflected, and they came up with an incredible. We were expecting that Zohunt might be, but Daaku Sena they had deflected. So I guess the decision making from the side of Daaku Sena, Zohunt, and paid out pretty well for this.
I mean, it was a good turn of event, and I think you'll never know what you're gonna be getting to the later part of this game. So do not try to drag the game along. And I know that the turn scale is much better than any other heroes we can see so far. And when all the teams were the one actually tanking it for him, and sustaining it for him, and he was free hitting actually, he was able to melt down Dusty. He was able to melt down Win. He was able to melt down the Badang to the point that they just won in just 5 seconds when the future was actually looking very, very bleak for them. And it wasn't even a mistake for their side. Just Win trying to zone away the Rafaela, and I don't think he was aware that the Nathan, that Funny Valentine was also gonna be there, and I think it was a miscalculation, misstep on his part as well. And no Lord, no need it when you have a Nathan.
That fifth crack onto the Xbox, letting his armor out, and then Yuzong flying upon that Rafaela. I mean, it's kind of feel like a magical moment for Daaku Sena. They were also not been thinking that they can come back in this way. Prime was the only one, so hats off to Prime. Obviously, he played well. He does everything he could have done in this match. What we can say, it is what it is. It's went to Daaku Sena. 2-1 is the score. Congratulations, Daaku Sena, for winning this match. It was really a good match, I can say. So it's time to wrap up, Itami. Think so?
Yep, definitely. And with this, that will be it for today's matches. We will be back tomorrow with more action. Till then, Ash TZ, me, Hostavi, and Dev. Good night, everyone.
ये तारा इनको बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, परफेक्ट। ये तारा इनको बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, परफेक्ट। दिक्कत देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, परफेक्ट